he's done it again, hasn't he? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. If there's my biggest takeaway from this tour, the thing that I'm going to be missing the most is the intros. You know me, and I know I say it every single time, particularly in these match view streams in here, the Asylum. It's because I love the custom intros. We've done so many here on the channel. I say we. It's all Josh. He's a genius. He's a graphics guru. He's a visual ninja. And yes, I think this one might be the best one. I know I say it every single time. This one might indeed be the best one. The Vegas intro, the casino chips. Oh, it's just so good, isn't it? Outside of this, as I mentioned, my favourite one, I still think might be the Halloween one. It still might be my favourite. I was saying to Josh the other day, we need a compilation. We so need a compilation. And a compilation we will get. It is coming soon. But how is everybody doing? Hope you're all doing well. Smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, y'all. Oh, that American twang is rubbing off on me. We're here for Manchester United versus Borussia Dortmund. The final game of the pre-season tour of the United States of America. Not the final game of pre-season, of course. There's still 2 more games to go after today. We've got Lens, however you want to say it, at Old Trafford, followed by a game against Athletic Bilbao in Dublin 2. So we still got 2 more games to go when it comes to the pre-season. Hopefully we can bounce back from our last game against Real Madrid, a defeat. But before we get into team news, before we get into anything like that, let's start off and have a pause for the cause, starting off with Prime Planet. Yes, as always, this stream is brought to you by Prime Planet. They are the best in class for all your travel, entertainment, and hospitality needs around the world. So whenever you see Flex, KG, and Josh jet-setting around the globe, be it in the USA for this tour, Australia or Thailand for the last one, Spain for European nights and beyond, Prime Planet gets us there as UV's travel partner. Click the link in the video description below and get all your travel, entertainment and hospitality needs covered. But it's not the only person we have to shout out today. Here is the next.
This video is brought to you by Cracks Only. Check out the link in the video description below to get to their website and check out their latest products. Trust me, you do not want to miss them.
You do not want to miss them, indeed, as Flex mentioned. This video is brought to you by Crack Solely. How good, by the way, did Flex and KG look in that video? If you want to look like them, you can. As I mentioned, this video is brought to you by Crack Solely. Make sure you click the link in the video description below to check out their latest catalog of streetwear. They're currently doing big things in Los Angeles, California. Of course, we were in California for a part of this tour, San Diego for the game against Wrexham, which unfortunately we lost. The kids lost anyway. But as I mentioned, they're doing big things in California, Crack Solely, with many MLS stars wearing their products. So if you want to dress like the stars, you know what to do. Check them out in the video description. As Flex says, you will not regret it. So folks, how are we all doing? Let's talk about team news, because again, it's quite interesting, the team news. So we've seen in this pre-season tour, Erik ten Hag has basically played 2 sides in either half. Usually he starts off with the strong team, and in the second half he goes to the more peripheral players, but he's done it the other way around today. And certainly I think particularly the captaincy has got a lot of people talking. So let's start off with this team news. You can see it on the screen right there, but let's go through it. In goal, you've got Tom Heaton, not Andre Onana. I had the song ready. Obviously, it's on the soundboard. I thought we were going to play KG's song again. We will at some point, but we can't from the off because Tom Heaton starts in goal. We then got a back 4 of Brandon Williams at left back, Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire once again paired in the centre of defence, and Diogo Dalot at right back. Harry Maguire, though, not the captain, because the person who has been given the armband is Scott McTominay. Very interesting, considering he's been linked to a move away from Manchester United to West Ham. He's in midfield alongside Christian Eriksen. Then in front of them, we've got Amari Forson, who seemingly is going to be on the left-hand side. Donny van de Beek, we think, is going to be in the number 10 role, or he could come back and make it a 3-person midfield, sort of a 4-3-3. We'll wait and see how that one plays out. Facundo, fresh off KG and Flex meeting his father, yes, his dad, his real-life father, Facundo Palestri, is playing on the right-hand side, and up front, seemingly in that false 9 role, seemingly it's going to be Jadon Sancho once again. In terms of people on the bench, it's a strong bench. You've got Bishop, Onana, Johnny Evans, Alvaro Fernandez, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Dan Gore. I do have that on the soundboard too. Hannibal Mejbri, Mason Mount, Anthony, Joe Hugel, and Marcus Rashford are all on the bench. So It's not the most strong team to start off. Certainly, it's, again, the sort of backup players. They get an opportunity to shine from the off, and then seemingly you would think in the second half, we're going to get those stronger players, those first teamers, those regular starters coming on. So certainly for those playing here, it's a really big opportunity, I would think, because from the start, they're going to be, you would think, playing against, a fresh Borussia Dortmund, a strong Borussia Dortmund. I do have their team news in just a second. But it's an opportunity for them to show that, actually, I know, Eric, you've probably got your heart set on a certain starting 11 and a certain group of players. And some of these players have been linked with moves away from Manchester United this summer. The likes of Tom Heaton, Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Donny van de Beek, Facundo Palestri, even Jadon Sancho, Brandon Williams. They've all been linked with moves away, a lot of them. So now it's an opportunity, I guess, to prove themselves that they're worthy of staying, or Erik ten Hag should maybe reconsider their departure in certain cases. I think when it comes to Scott McTominay as well, it's very interesting that you've got a starting 11 there that has the former Manchester United captain in it, in Harry Maguire, and still... It's still got no Bruno Fernandes, so who do you put the captaincy on? You don't put it on Maguire still, you put it on Scott McTominay, which again is very interesting considering he's been linked with a move away from Manchester United. A verbal offer has been rejected by United from West Ham because it wasn't close to a £45 million valuation of the player. Is this an indication of how much McTominay actually means to Erik ten Hag and Manchester United? Or is it a bit of gamesmanship with West Ham to say, look, we told you, if it's not 45 million, we're not going to sell him because he's not actively up for sale because, importantly, he's a very, very key player for us. He might not be a starter, but he's a squad player and he's an important player. We just gave him the armband in a friendly. We're not selling him for the cheap. Maybe it's a bit of games by Manchester United too. So let me know your thoughts and your predictions on that. We would really be interested to know. Let's see what some of you guys are saying in the chat. Already a super chat from Scythe says, big up to you again, Owen, killing these late night watch-alongs. Need to get my thesis finished, but struggling to get going. Any words of motivation? My words of motivation is, if you're struggling and you've got a bit of a block, get up, walk around, or just do it in bite-sized chunks. That's what I had to do. When I did my dissertation for my final year of uni, I just did it in bite-sized bits. There might be some days that I thought, I can't be bothered today. I'm just not feeling it. I'm tired. I'm run down. I've got no motivation. I thought, you know what? Let me do an hour. Let me do 30 minutes. Let me just do it in bite-sized bits. And as long as you do something, that's better than nothing. Some days you'll do more than others, but you can do it. That's the important thing, is even if the finish line seems way off, just a couple of steps, you're a couple of steps closer to your goal. And that's what you can do. And of course, you can do it. I've even got that on the soundboard, actually. I've got you can do it. Here we go.
You can do it!
I should have just said that. That's the best motivation that I can give. But big up, Scythe, supporter of the channel, and appreciate the contribution as well. I'm sure the members of the UV community in the chat as well will give you their words of support too. Let's see what everyone else is doing, saying in the chat too. Jose says, what time is kickoff over there? 2 a.m. Indeed, kickoff is 25 minutes away. Tank says, Owen, are you in your UV PJs? No. It's Under Armour. I don't really pull off red that well. I kind of look like a giant strawberry, particularly in the shape that I'm in right now. But I thought I'd wear red, even though I'm not sure it's coming across totally red. I mean, the thing is as well, I'm so pale that if I wear red, it looks like I've got a sunburn. That's how pale I am. It's kind of nuts, really. No Net Play says, such a shame that Maino isn't involved again. Yes, it is a shame. He did post something, was it yesterday, saying that he'd come back quicker, faster, stronger. It was reported by Samuel Luckhurst as well that it's expected that he might miss a couple of months, maybe 2 months. United confirmed he will miss the start of the season. But I did see some people saying, and it is true, that there was a concern maybe initially it might have been longer than 2 months. And when you consider that start of the season's 2 and a bit weeks away, that's half a month. So realistically, he's going to be back, end of September, beginning of October. In the grand scheme of things, it's not too bad. And my hope is that he hasn't lost momentum. And when that time comes around, he can fit and slot right back in. But at the same time, you kind of, not that you don't want him to, but you want United to be firing on all fronts, that it's like, man, getting Colby back, that's a massive addition to a side that's already playing well. So here's hoping maybe he can come back a bit faster than that. We'll wait and see. What else have we got here? Ahmad says strawberry and cream. And Lux Hill is the latest member of the UV Members Club. Well, a long-time member of the Members Club. Member, moderator, supporter. Big up Lux Hill. Always supports the channel. Much appreciated as well. And big up all the mods that are in the chat at the moment as well. As Lux Hill says, just a renewal. Needed to change the payment card. Yeah, sometimes it's one of those things. But it comes up. Shout out to you. Let's get some reaction, or some preview rather, from Flex and KG. Now, you might have seen this on the channel already, and whilst we actually watch this, I do want to point out, top right-hand corner, as you can see, we're 17 subscribers away from 149,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, click subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I believe we can do it this evening in this Asylum match view, and as always, we'll take full credit. I certainly will, and say it was all me. It was definitely me that got it done. Okay, all 149. That was all on my shoulders. But first, let's get some preview from Flex and KG. As I mentioned, they were in Allegiant Stadium. Here are their thoughts. Again, this was actually yesterday, and KG was quite prophetic at the time. He spoke about Donny van de Beek, and Donny van de Beek, he starts. Take a look.
We want to end on a high. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Man United fans in here. We want to end the tour with a bang, and it's another game for Onana, another game for Mount. You know, it's another game for the players who are just been here already, just getting the minutes in the legs, getting the fitness up, and just getting to know each other. And actually, the biggest thing is the Onana situation with how high he's playing.
Yes.
Kobe Mainoo obviously injured. That's reportedly a couple of months.
Really sad,
man. But what are you trying to expect from this last game? What are you trying to see?
You know what? What I'm looking for from this game is
Sorry, while you're talking, I am listening. Yeah. But I'm going to be doing a lot of this.
Yeah, it's all right. Keep looking. I do as well. Someone said I fully got ADHD. Anyway, what I'm looking for is for the manager. This is mad. For the manager to start. That's fine. I'm used to it. It's to start Bruno in his desired position. No more of this Bruno test on the right hand side. We need to see Bruno down the middle. We need to get a good vibe at this. And even if you want to test and mess around with things, try and put Mason out wide just to see what's going on, what he can offer us. Because at that point, we haven't seen it. Again, with Rashi, I would like to put him out. What I'll do, a madness, you know. I'd actually put Rashford out in his desired position. Yeah, I put Bruno in his position, and I do Sancho false nine again.
Sancho 9 again.
Because now you know Rasmus is coming, Sancho. The days are numbered in that position. So do your thing, but everybody, the players that know they're supporting the team, play in your roles. And then after Garnacho off the bench, that kind of thing. And again, it's a good day to really look at a player like Donny van de Beek and say, you know, I know he's going, but let's just have a look. Let's just see what's going on.
Have a look at what?
I just want to look. Just want to look.
Nah.
If McTominay's leaving, if McTominay and Fred's leaving, I would like to retain one of them.
I just think you go Casemiro and Mount Bruno.
You don't say you will retain one of them?
No, I'm saying for this game at the start.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not
saying, I'm talking about off the bench.
Oh, off the bench.
I want the main team to be there.
Okay,
but I'm just talking about when I make the off the bench decisions, I would like to have a little cheeky look at Donny again. Yeah. Just a little look.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, what about you? What are you thinking?
My thing again is that the goalkeeper, man. Yeah. Is Andre Onana against a difficult game against Real Madrid, a lot of transitions. Obviously, they're a fantastic team, and that's the levels. But against the Dortmund side, this Manchester United side is expected to have a lot of possession over this Dortmund side.
Well, a lot of that aged pretty poorly, didn't it? Because I think, like most people, I was expecting the strong United side to be selected by Erik ten Hag, not the one that has been selected. And actually, when KG goes, Donny, I'd like to have a look, and Flex said, what's there to have a look at? Well, Donny starts. So actually, KG, this is what KG is. Yeah, sometimes he'll say crazy stuff and say reckless stuff, and somehow, some way, it ends up coming true. Maybe Ten Hag did want to have a look. Maybe Ten Hag did say, "Oh, I'll have a look. I'll have a check at Johnny," even though that Donny's being linked to a move to Real Sociedad, possibly a loan with an option to buy. But maybe he decided to have a look, which again is quite interesting. And as Flex said, I think people, myself included, were like, "Hey, Andre Onana, this is going to be a lot of fun to have a look at him in his second game." And he played 90 minutes against Real Madrid. It looks like he's going to play probably 45, because I would be really shocked if we didn't see the stronger Manchester United players come out for the second half. Maybe it might be a bit like with Real Madrid, because of course against Real Madrid, that stronger side played for, what was it, about 60 minutes, something like that, and then the other players came on. So maybe it might be the same. Maybe we'll see this lineup, this starting 11 for about 60 minutes, and then the other players will come on, which I'd be quite surprised about, honestly. Again, I'll be honest, wasn't totally expecting this, but at the same time, pre-season is just about minutes, isn't it? It is about just getting patterns of play together. It's about getting pre-season fitness up ahead of the Premier League season beginning, which again is rapidly approaching. So I suppose maybe that's part of it too, is that, you know, yes, this isn't the strongest United side. Yes, this isn't the side that's going to be starting against Wolves, but you never know what can happen. Injuries, departures, whatever. And maybe one or two of these players, suddenly they might have to start against Wolves and they have to be ready. And they can't be ready if they're playing only a bit part in pre-season. Therefore, they do need to have just as many minutes as maybe some of the other players as well. Maybe that's the line of thinking too. So that's probably part of it as well. Jadon Sancho, once again, starts as a false 9, which is, I mean, it was reported, wasn't it, that it's not out of, well, I say it's not out of being forced to do it, but it is. It's because we don't have a striker. Now, we are going to have a striker soon in Rasmus Højlund, which, by the way, the amount of opposition fans that I've seen doing their very best to try and already tell us that the guy's going to be a flop and a failure. He hasn't even signed yet. He's not even officially a United player. And we're already being told he's a failure. Absolute failure already. He's never going to be any good. He's not going to score any goals. Are you joking? Are you joking signing him? Whoa, 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 whoa. There sounds like a lot of projection there. And I've also seen, and I'm not just taking direct aim at Arsenal fans, but Arsenal fans can't shut up about us. Oh, my God. I'm scrolling through the timeline. Every other tweet, it's Arsenal talking about our business. Focus on your own business. You're sorting out Aaron Ramsdale and David Raya. You're going after a goalkeeper, even though you signed your number 1, who, again, last season you were telling us is the best goalie in the Premier League, to, like, was it a 5-year deal? And now maybe you might be looking to replace him, or you're saying, oh, no, it's competition, but you think David Raya is going to leave and then suddenly be sitting on the bench all season. Same with Aaron Ramsdale as well. That's not going to be a bit of an issue, isn't it? So with all that kind of stuff, let's just wait. And this is what I was saying when we got the Here We Go yesterday with Rasmus Højlund. This is why we've got to back him. Because there are people around, and unfortunately some of them are even United fans, that are just almost desperate for him to fail already. And maybe he doesn't set the world alight when he first comes United. Maybe he doesn't score for a little bit. And that's his primary function, I know. But we've got to back him. He's a young kid. He's 20. And he's got a big price tag on him. So the pressure's going to be there just in general of playing for United plus the price tag. And we've got to back him. We've got to support him. Obviously, he's got to pull his weight as best as he can. He can't be a passenger on the pitch. But at the same time, we've got to support him. It can't be a situation of waiting for this guy to fail, because we're better than that. Maybe we're not. I don't know. But we have to back him. We have to support him. And it's going to take time. It is. If he hits the ground running and sets the Premier League alight, that will be way ahead of even the people that bought him, their expectations of him as well. And the price is kind of wild, but if you're looking at him as a 20-year-old that's going to stay at United for a decade, then maybe you do get your money's worth when it comes to that too. You're buying long-term as opposed to short-term too. You're buying potential. And strikers, they're a premium. They're always going to be a premium. You know, you're going to spend more on a striker than you are on a goalkeeper. Even a goalkeeper that played in the Champions League final, a young striker's always going to go for more, because it's just the market, unfortunately. So I'm with you. My initial reaction when I did see some of the prices yesterday, I was like, wow, that's kind of a lot. But as we always say, the price only matters when the transfer doesn't work out. And with Højlund, it might not work out in the first year. The hope is that long term it works out and he develops into a proper player as well. But at the same time, as I said, we've got to back him. We've got to support him. He's going to be a United player at the end of the day. And the hope will be certainly that it can't be much worse than last season, when look at the striking situation last season. One, the guy that the manager backed through pre-season didn't play 90 minutes, despite the fact we played something over 60 games last season. The other striker that was there at pre-season, well, he didn't really do pre-season for various reasons. Then he left during the winter break. The reason he left is because I don't know. What was actually the reason again? He felt he was disrespected or something like that, and he didn't interview Piers Morgan and all that kind of stuff. That was a thing. Then we got in a loan that was originally, he was on loan from Burnley to Besiktas. We bought out that loan, brought him in. He didn't score a goal in the Premier League. He scored, was it 2 goals apart from that? He did his best, but clearly he wasn't good enough. So, yes, we've signed a 20-year-old from Serie A who scored 9 goals last season, but again, the hope can be that it can't be much worse. As long as he's available and scores 1 goal in the Premier League, it's kind of better than last season already. The bar is so low when it comes to our striking situation, right? And also, for those that say, yeah, but for 20 million you could have got Harry Kane, we don't know that. And in fact, I think that's a very loose statement to say for 20 million more we could have got Harry Kane. Because who said we can even get Harry Kane even if we had the money this year? Because Daniel Levy still doesn't want to sell to us. If he has to sell, he'll sell elsewhere apart from a Premier League club because there are other options. And you say, well, what about Victor Osimhen? People have gone quiet on Victor Osimhen because, again, they realise he's too expensive. And it's almost the same with Harry Kane. To even make Daniel Levy consider, he's too expensive. So what other options did we have? Not a ton. So we've got the striker. We've got to back him. My concern is other people playing up front this season, i.e. like Marcus Rashford. I don't think he's cut out for it. Jadon Sancho. I'd rather have Jadon Sancho actually supporting Rasmus Højlund along with an Anthony Martial. Who knows if he can play 90 minutes. I'd rather have that be our options this season and stick with Rashford on the left. Because I just think Rashford, a bit like when you play Bruno on the right, I feel like you take a lot of his effectiveness out of his performance, honestly. And I just don't think he's suited for it as well. So, there you go. What are people saying in the chat here? I mean, it's still divided when people are saying about Rasmus Højlund, and it will be. It will be. You've got Digital Dozer saying, watch Rasmus come in and be a success, trust me. You've got some people, like Almac, saying, we got ripped off. Time will tell. Time will only tell when it comes to that. Some people will be proved right, some people will be proved wrong. But either way, I think you've got to be careful, even if you've got reservations with the price. I think you still got to back the player, and you can't be sort of, again, I feel like some people are waiting for him to fail immediately, and I just don't think that's, again, the right thing to do. What else have we got here as well? So a lot of people are talking about, Højlund and stuff like that too. Lucas Chan says, I happened to run into KG, Flex and Josh. Have a good streamer. And big up Lucas Chan. Yes, of course, they're there in Las Vegas as well. Speaking of Flex and KG, I want to show you this. So you may have seen this on the UV Crashes, the Allegiant Stadium. You may have seen it on social media. Be sure to follow us at United View TV on everything. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, all of the socials are there in the bottom right-hand corner. You can see them. Josh is, again, a genius. Absolute genius. And this is just more proof of it. So much so that he managed to dodge KG doing an Harry Maguire impression on the pitch at Allegiant Stadium. You may say, oh, and that's crazy. Take a look at this. This is real.
Right, we're heading to the centre circle, and Josh is gonna do that mad pan. You know, that serious pan. Yeah. We're in the centre circle. Oh, act like a player. Act like a player.
Hold on. Oh, you need to be act like a player. 1 second. Oh wait, hold on. You know you're the rival team as well.
Josh, do the Sky Sports thing when they're just about to kick off.
Wait, hold on. Who am I? Hey, Flex. Who am I, bro?
Wait, watch the kick out. Watch the kick out.
No, you ain't ready for mine. Watch this one.
Sorry. That's what he would do as well.
Twice he done it.
No.
You killed me.
Wait, nah, you can't do that. You can't do that one. Chill. You nearly took Josh out. You nearly took Josh out.
A proper Maguire.
Bro, but wait there. But you know the big man players though.
I mean, this is why Josh, again, is a genius. First of all, he managed to hold onto the camera with KG, like, kicking it out of his hand. Two, you say to Josh, oh, can you do the Sky Sports thing? Just does it. Easy. No problem. Done. He's just, so good. I have seen some people asking about Alejandro Garnacho and Rafael Varane. Of course, they're both not in the squad. I have seen that they're actually there. They are there at the Allegiant Stadium. I believe they're just being rested. I'll just have to double check there. Ten Hag has actually spoken with, obviously, MUTV before the game. He was asked about Kobbie Mainoo's injury. He said, quote, it was really disappointing. He was doing brilliant, but that happens in football and you have to deal with it. I hope he'll be back quickly. We'll support him, but he must do it by himself. I'm sure he'll be back because he's so resilient. So again, being quite cautious, I suppose, with some of the details there. It was also I did see this whilst I was chatting to you guys, that Erik ten Hag reunited with Sebastian Haller, of course, former Ajax striker, plays now for Borussia Dortmund, obviously had a battle with testicular cancer, came back, was actually really instrumental to Borussia Dortmund nearly winning the Bundesliga last season. So, one, just fantastic to see him playing again, and two, excellent seeing them reunite. I mean, it's such an incredible comeback story, actually, from Sebastian Haller. I felt really... it was unfortunate because towards the end of last season, I did watch the final Bundesliga day, and in all fairness, Dortmund bottled it. All they needed to do was win that game, and they didn't. And Haller actually missed the penalty, which was really unfortunate. Now, when it comes to the players missing the game today, as I mentioned, that are not in the squad, Rafael Varane and Alejandro Garnacho not being in the squad is just a precaution. They haven't really said why, but maybe they've got little nicks and things like that, maybe slight tweaks. Ahmad, interestingly, is actually out with a knee problem, which I guess is separate to the issue that he went off with in the preseason game against Arsenal. That was one when he had was it an ankle issue, something like that? So he's out with a knee problem, which I guess is quite concerning. But they're saying Varane and Garnacho, it's just a case of a precaution for them. So that's the reason for their absences, if you were wondering about that. What else are people saying in the chat here at the moment? Callum says, which they want to know where Varane is, just said that. I did see something from, big up Steph. Steph's in the chat. Says, Owen, I have a question. If you had to make a starting 11 out of the UV presenter / panelist, who would you put in what position? My goodness me. Well, first of all, I want to be careful because I don't want to forget anyone, and I know that I end up will. In goal, me, because that's the only position I can play in. If I have to do any minutes out on pitch, I will last about 2 minutes. The cardio is not great at the moment. The cardio is not strong. So there you go. What else? Night Rider said I just saw KG on MUTV. Was he on there? Did I miss that because I was reading something out? If I did, such a disgrace and a cheat. That big moment and I missed it. Who else would I have on the pitch? Centre backs, I'd have Haley and Steph. Communication, which is key, and I need that in front of me as well. I need communication. Full backs, I'd probably have Raf and Micah, speed. Midfielders, I'm going flat 4-4-2 as well. Midfielders, Minna's in the middle, obviously. General, you know what I mean? General. I'm not sure we've got 11, by the way, as well. Minna's in the middle, alongside DJ. Paulo on the wing, Portuguese, you know what I mean? Ronaldo-esque. Do we actually have... I'll just put Josh out on the right because I'm not sure we got enough numbers, and Flex and KG up front. Have I missed anyone? Kenny right wing, but he's not playing wing. He's inverted. He's in the middle. He's in the middle, definitely. That's what we're going to go with. And Flex and KG up front. Have I missed anyone? You can let me know if I've missed anyone. I feel like that's everyone. I feel like it might actually be 11. Literally bang, 11. Cam's been released because of what he said about David De Gea. I refuse to play him. Out of respect. A bit like Ten Hag when it comes to... Why was Cam on the bench? Respect. It was out of respect. That's what it was. Okay? It's pure respect. So, that's why. They're saying Cam's the manager. No, it's out of respect. That's the problem. Pure respect. I don't want to bring him in out of respect for, he's ruffling some feathers. There's rumours. I mean, he can't even get an interview with Piers Morgan. He probably had an interview with someone like, I don't know, Jeremy Vine on 5 or something like that. In the morning, something rubbish like that. Maybe that's what it might be. And actually, if you want to see Cam's ball control and his skill, go watch the 100k vlog. Okay, shocking, it's horrible. Cam came on the training pitch and it was like Jose or Pogba. They're all shaking hands, and I go, no. Of course, I'm player manager. I've just determined that myself. That's it. I think I did. Did I say Marcel? He'd probably be late. That'd be the problem. He'd be doing shuttle runs, even though he's meant to be playing at the time. Teams are coming out onto the pitch. I'd say to Marcel, I'd be like, Marcel, you're playing. Make sure you arrive at this time. 100%, Owen. 100%. I will be there. No problem. It'll come like a week later. Well, I don't believe in time. And I don't believe in kickoff times or positions. So that's what he'd probably say. Something like that. Some would label it as a disgrace, a cheat. Whilst I was in the chat. No problem. Emre Can is in the lineup, former Liverpool Emre Can. And for some that would be asking, Marcel Sabitzer. Yes, former Manchester United loanee Marcel Sabitzer is in the starting lineup for Borussia Dortmund today. I found it very strange that some people were kind of almost like outraged that Sabitzer, we didn't keep him. Like when he went on, when it was announced that he had been sold to Borussia Dortmund, some people were like, oh, another one missed out. Missed out on what? Like, missed out on what when it comes to Marcel Sabitzer? He was fine, but not like, we shouldn't have just been getting him for the sake of him this summer. So, there you go. National Anthem's playing once again. It's played every game so far in this tour. I mean, at this rate, I should probably judge them in comparison to all the other ones. I can't remember the other ones on the tour because I wasn't paying too much attention, to be honest, to the national anthems during the tour. Sometimes they haven't had them. Sometimes they've just played them over the tannoy, you know. ADZ says, Savvy is a really good player, Owen. We didn't see that at United. He was fine. He's not bad, but it wasn't, you know, what was that? Oh. But... yeah, he was fine. He was injury prone, and he came in and did the job, considering that Christian Eriksen was injured as well. But you know, it's a Berserker. Why are you talking crap, Owen? I know it's late, but you're never gonna grow the channel not talking about football. Sorry, mate. You know that's the problem. We're Netflix over here, aren't we? You know. I was only just talking about bloody Sabitzer as well. I drifted off football for 5 seconds. Unfortunately, Berserker, people actually talk about things other than football in life, particularly in pre-season as well. The national anthem's just been playing. But, you know, it's fine. You strap me down, you can tie me down and say, football, 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 Owen, football. I wake up from my sleep and I go, oh, Sabitzer, should we have kept him or not? Oh, should we? I'm tossing and turning in my sleep going, starting 11. What's the starting 11 going to be? What's Ten Hag tactics? Kobe Manu injury update. And I get a shove going, you're doing it again. You're doing it again, Owen. I go, oh, sorry. I've just got to be talking about football all the time. Constantly, all the time. Damn it. Or the channel won't grow. It's my fault. It's my fault. The channel's not growing. Terrible. Some would say disgrace and a cheat, you know. But the game is about 60 seconds away from kicking off. Erik ten Hag standing side by side with Mitchell van der Gaag. Doesn't get enough credit. Old Mitchell. Old. The assistant coach by United. I tell you what, I expected more people there in the stadium at Allegiant. It's a beautiful stadium. Flex and KG obviously were raving about it. I have some familiarity with it. Never been, of course. But I know that the WWE, they've had several events there. They had SummerSlam there a couple of years ago. They were meant to have Money in the Bank there last year, and they couldn't sell enough tickets, so they moved it to the MGM Grand Garden Arena in nearby in Las Vegas. But it's a beautiful stadium. Flex and KG were saying that it was maybe the best. I haven't been, but from what I've seen, I would probably lean to maybe SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, being better because it's just unbelievable. And I don't think people really understand. I mean, you guys that are from the US probably will understand better than us. But over here in the UK, stadiums, I mean, they're getting there, but particularly the old-fashioned stadiums like Old Trafford, their sole purpose really is host football matches and sort of corporate functions. That's about it in terms of the boxes. Those stadiums in the USA, particularly the new ones, they are incroyable. They are incredible. Multifunctional, can host all kind of events. As KG says in the video, they've got like nightclubs in there. I mean, the one in Jacksonville has just got a swimming pool in the stand too. It's unbelievable. We're ready to go though. We're just waiting for kickoff now. Players are ready. United in red, Dortmund in yellow, and we're off. First half is underway. As I mentioned, I did expect more people to be there, so the atmosphere is maybe a little bit lacking as well. Jeffrey says, Owen, they get there late in Vegas. People hung over from the fight trying to make it back from the craps tables. Possibly. There was a big fight there last night. Flex and KG went. Can't, you know, I'm not the biggest boxing fan, I must profess, so I don't know too much about it. But just looking at the system so far, actually looks like Christian Eriksen might be in the 10, maybe. Eriksen in the 10. I mean, the rest of the front four we've got right, but maybe it's going to be Donny that's a bit deeper. We'll see how that one plays out, and then maybe we'll move the starting 11 depending on how it does indeed play out. There is Marcel Sabitzer, number 20 for Borussia Dortmund. And the Dortmund goalkeeper has the ball at the moment. Goes long. Header by Scott McTominay, the captain today. Amari Forson tries to win the ball back. Can't. Not sure United have even touched the ball so far. Ball out wide. Forson tries to shut him down. Here come Dortmund down United's right-hand side. Good tackle by Diogo Dalot. Wins the ball. Travels with the ball. Oh, I'm not sure he meant to pass it to Donny van der Beek. And he got caught off guard by it. I think he lost his footing a bit and he loses it. And here comes Adeyemi for Dortmund. He's running at Harry Maguire. Takes the shot. And Tom Heaton makes a save. Harry Maguire's having a look around going, what was that? But that's what United need to be careful with, because this was the thing that I was disappointed the most with against Real Madrid, was that we just... Obviously, Real Madrid's such a great team in transition. They're so fast in getting the ball up the pitch, whether it's Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., who else did they have in the midfield? Valverde, I could go on and on. Tchouaméni, Camavinga, they're so fast, but we helped them too much because we kept giving the ball away. That's a foul on Amari Forson. It's a free kick. So we just need to be a bit sharper on the ball, a bit more protective of it. And that was a great example there of if you give the ball away, Adeyemi, he's ridiculously fast. A. Andrew says, Owen, I lived in Jacksonville, Florida. The stories that come out of there don't go into that pool, LOL. The only reason I'm familiar with the, was it TIAA Stadium, the Jacksonville Stadium, is from wrestling. That's where most of my American knowledge comes from. But it's not bad. But they did a thing where they constantly went in the pool over and over again. It was kind of mad. McTominay gives the ball to Brandon Williams. He travels with the ball, gives it to Victor Lindelof. Again, the passing. Just about passes it out wide. A switch to Amari Forson. Not the best touch, but does get past the Dortmund player. Continues running. Nearly got shoved off the ball. Here's Jadon Sancho, edge of the box. Diogo Dalot, good feet. Goes past the player, cuts it back. Oof. Went all the way across the box and past everyone. Nearly went to Facundo Palestri. It was good feet, actually, by Diogo Dalot. Good couple of step overs and got the ball into the box. Maybe not the best cutback as well. And there's, I think that was Donny van der Beek again. Just having another look. It looks like now Eriksen has dropped into a deeper position, I think. So it is going to be, I think, Donny in that 10, which is more than which is what I expect. I didn't expect Eriksen to be so high up. But then here we go again. Donny's dropping. Oh no, it's Eriksen. He's much further deep. Donny's actually going towards Eriksen. There's Harry Maguire. Out to Amari Forson. McTominay. Forson again. Gives it back to Harry Maguire. Maguire again. To Victor Lindelof. Looking for that ball over the top to Facundo Palestri. Tries to bring it down on the chest. Couldn't do it. It's easily dispossessed. That's good press from the front there. It's Donny van der Beek nearly wins it back. Jadon Sancho's in the box. Sancho. He's trying to find a United shirt. I'm not sure he can find one around him. Gives it back to Eriksen. It was a bit short, the pass. Eriksen just about gets there. And gives it back to Brandon Williams. And again, that was my first... Oh, my God. Brilliant. Williams plays it off McTominay. Sometimes just United try and play the ball and it's just a bit, you know, like, oh, stop, start. The pass just about gets there. It's a bit short or it's over here. Williams leaves it. McTominay. Switch out to Amari Forson. That's a better pass. Forson again. He's actually played quite a bit in this pre-season tour. I'm quite surprised, honestly. And here's Victor Lindelof. So again to Harry Maguire. He's quite far wide on the right. Goes for the switch. Goes all the way over Facundo Pellistри's head. I think it didn't even stay in. It went straight out for a throw and didn't even bounce. Wow. Oh dear. I'm glad to see Facundo Pellistri playing though. I'm a big fan of his. Every single time he came on last season, I thought he looked like he was energetic. Particularly when you've got wingers like Anthony, who are always going to cut inside every single time. Facundo's a bit more of a traditional winger, isn't he? Hugs the touchline. He will just be direct, try and go down the line, whip it into the box. He's fast, he's got pace, wants to take players on. That's a poor pass. Mari Forson takes a shot. Oh! Did the keeper get a touch to that? Or did he scuff it? I think the keeper has saved that, because it was a poor mistake from Borussia Dortmund. And Forson just takes a shot straight away, a snap shot. First time, and I think he kind of scuffs it. Here you go. Keeper does make a save. I think it is going in. Let's have a look. It's probably going in. Keeper makes a save, but it's not the best connection from him. But a good save from the goalkeeper. Chance that for United. Gregor Koval, Swiss international goalkeeper. Corner ball for Manchester United. Over 6 minutes played. Eriksson, ball in. Headed away and out for a United throw-in. Look at that, Mats Hummels has done what I guess everyone does in Germany. If you're any good, play for Dortmund on the way up, go to Bayern Munich for a few years, win some trophies, particularly the league, and then go back to Borussia Dortmund. I mean, it's kind of nuts. I remember someone chatting to me. Ooh, I'll tell you what, Brandon Williams nearly got caught out there. Someone was chatting to me saying that it's so difficult in Germany because essentially what happens if you're any good and you've got a couple years left on your contract, Bayern Munich will just start talking to you. Oh, ball's given away. Here come Borussia Dortmund in transition. Dortmund, a bit of space, about 25 yards out. So actually probably the worst option to pick in terms of the pass, but it was cut out by Brandon Williams, did well. And here come United on the counter-attack too. Van der Beek gives it to Brandon Williams. Yeah, I was told before that essentially, yeah, if you're a half-decent player in Germany, if you've got a couple of years left on your contract, Bayern Munich will start talking to you and they'll basically say, look, we'll put an offer in for you once you've got a year left or something like that, or we'll just wait till you can leave on a free and you can come to us. And it's so difficult for teams in the Bundesliga to kind of retain these players because they know that if you want to go anywhere and win the league, you go to Bayern Munich. I mean, their left back, who is it? Is it Guerrero, I think? He went to Bayern Munich too. It's just par for the course in the Bundesliga, isn't it? It's like the league is just one giant farming system for Bayern Munich. Good switch to Facundo Pellistri. Takes it down on the chest. It was actually by Eriksson the pass. Here is Facundo. Tries to take on the player. Does really well. It probably went off. I think it did go out for a goal kick. But that's what I like about Facundo. That was exactly what I was talking about there. Good switch by Christian Eriksen. Brilliant pass. Sees Facundo in space. Takes it down. And just tries to take on the player. And that's what you want to see. We don't see it enough from our wingers. Sometimes the wingers, if it is Anthony or sometimes maybe even Rashford, they can take the safe option. And you want to see him just go at defenders. Make it difficult for them. Use your pace. And he did. Obviously, it went off in the end, but I like that. And that's gone off for a Man United throw-in. SJ says, yeah, and to play for the national team. No one likes Bayern Munich. Bayern München. The big money club. Yeah, it's very, very strange how it kind of works in Germany. Well, it's just that's how it's always kind of worked, isn't it? Occasionally, you might get a team that sort of upsets the apple cart a bit, like when Dortmund won it 2 years in a row under Klopp, or when Wolfsburg won it all of those years ago. Then the next season, they brought in Steve McLaren as the manager off his successful FC Twente run. But you know, I remember when I was younger, was it Stuttgart won the league? Are they even in the Bundesliga anymore? I'm not even sure. So occasionally you get that, but Bayern then just find a way to get those best players and begin to dominate. That's what they do. Corner ball to Manchester United, 0-0. Nearly 10 minutes gone. It's going to be Mari Forson that stands over it again. United have started fairly bright so far. A save from the Dortmund keeper, from Forson. Ball in. An outswinger. Nearly landed on Maguire's head. Headed away though. And here's Diogo Dalot. Long ball to Forson. He might be offside. No, he's on. That wasn't the best pass. He just kind of stabbed it forward. And it's cleared by Wolf. And Dalot should have that. And goes all the way back to Tom Heaton. Well, as I mentioned, 10 minutes gone and United have really dominated possession, haven't they? Dortmund haven't had too much of a sniff. One opportunity where they kind of ran at Harry Maguire. But that's seemingly going to be the pattern of this first half, you would think, is a lot of United possession. And Dortmund looked to play on the can. Good turn by Jadon Sancho. And then maybe overdid it. It was a good turn. And after that, you're just saying, get it out your feet. But, and then the goalkeeper goes along there. Or Dalot. And Maguire just, hoof, puts his foot through it. Have it. Oh, it stayed in. And now, McTominay's kept in. And United have the ball. Well done. Eriksen gives it away. That's probably a foul there. Harry Maguire. He just went in and met the forward player right behind him. I think it was Sebastian Haller. Didn't let him turn. Gets a free kick. Does Borussia Dortmund. But look, it's a big game for him. I know it's only pre-season, but there's a lot of speculation about his future. One player that's not going to be at centre-back for United next season is Axel Disasi. He's going to Chelsea. 45 million euros, I think it was. That one done very, very quickly, wasn't it? Of course, United were linked to him. No official bid or anything like that. That's good play by Jadon Sancho. Gives it to Eriksen. Out wide right to Forsen. Is he going to try and attack him or go for the overlap? Kind of gets the ball stuck under his feet. Good 1-2 by him and Dalot. Luckily, the ball just lands to Dalot once again. That was good link-up play, though, by Jadon Sancho. And I think that's why there have been those reports that Erik ten Hag has been fairly impressed with him at false nine. Is because you've seen there, Sancho drops deep. Sancho drops deep to sometimes like around the centre circle spot. And just then, people can just pivot off him. He can lay the ball off, give it to Eriksen. Eriksen can switch it or put it out wide to the left or right. So I do think there is something there with Jadon Sancho. And with so much confusion as to where does he fit? Is he going to play on the left wing? Is he going to play on the right wing? Is he going to play as a 10? Maybe it's as a false 9. Not every game, but it's an option. Maguire stretched the pass and Forsen gives it away. Emre Can. Now a bit of possession for Borussia Dortmund. Amari Forsen's had a lot of the ball so far. A couple of times he's maybe looked a bit uncomfortable on it. As McTominay, good pressure by McTominay, unlucky. Dortmund just about keep the ball, but that's the kind of press that you like to see from your midfielders. Of course, he's the captain in this game as well. And now Dortmund have the ball once again, just playing it out from the back. Emre Can. Emre Can is a fool. Emre Can is an idiot because he left Liverpool on a free transfer to go to, who was it, Juventus? And then the next season, didn't Liverpool win the league? And they've won Champions Leagues and stuff like that as well, which is hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious. Liverpool won the league and the Champions League, actually. Shit. Brandon Williams passes out to Harry Maguire. Imran says Sancho seeing yellow and he looks up for it. Of course, yeah. Jadon Sancho against his former club. Dalot, good feet. He started very well, Diogo Dalot. Donny van der Beek puts it out wide to Facundo Pellistri. Again, it's going to go at the fullback. Good pass to Jadon Sancho. Goes to Forsen. The overlap's there, but cuts inside. Takes the shot. Ball's ricocheting around the box. Dalot's got his arms out. I think he's probably right. Dalot was the right option there. Forsen tried to actually go into the box instead and maybe take a shot, but it was very clear that Dalot was on the overlap. Look. The space is there. It's just there. It's easy. It's the right pass for him. And in the end, he actually goes into where the treble is. He goes into where the yellow shirts are. Probably the wrong choice by the young Manchester United winger. But Jadon Sancho as well was occupying space. He looks lively. He started the game really well. First 15 minutes as Jadon Sancho. Brandon Williams, well, he went for a switch. He's miles off there. Dalot gives him the thumbs up, but goes out for a goal kick instead. What are people saying in the chat at the moment? Jeffrey Taylor says the fact that Maguire was ever our captain. Alawal. Digital Dozer says, I like Forsen. Jeffrey Taylor says, McTominay captain is big time pandering to top Reds. Alawal, these kind of men they want to believe in. Steph says, final ball. With the, is that the Hope Juice? The Hope Juice, DJ's Hope Juice. I still, every time I walk into the studio, his Hope Juice is still there. With the carton and the writing on it. But there's still liquid in there. And I just go, that's gross. No one's emptied it. I mean, there's probably a lot more than Hope Juice in that jug at the moment. There's probably a small, I don't know, a small civilization growing in there. The amount of like bacteria and mold in there at the moment. Yeah, no. No. Maguire puts it back to Tom Heaton. Obviously linked to a move to Luton. But he's still... Looks like he might stay now if we don't get another backup goalkeeper. Pass out wide to Facundo Palestri. He was looking for that Donny van der Beek overlap. Was too much and goes out for a throw. And still 0-0 after 15 minutes, close to 16. In Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Still, again, lots of empty seats. I expected maybe a bigger attendance. But it has been a big weekend, as people have pointed out, of sport in Sin City. Keeper goes long for Dortmund. Surely it's got to be climbing on the back of Harry Maguire. Referee says no. Oh, unlucky. McTominay asked a lot of Jadon Sancho there. Nearly brought it down with a decent touch. Sancho, he's going to try and pounce on that. He's going to get there. Well done, Jadon Sancho. Once again, wins the ball. It was a poor pass by Dortmund, but he was sharp. He was quick. Sancho gives it back to Brandon Williams. McTominay gives it to Jadon Sancho. He's actually wide on the left at the moment. Nearly goes past the player. Still has the ball. Sancho gives it to Eriksen. Forsen. Again, Dalot was the option if he could see him. Now he's found Dalot. It was Christian Eriksen who did. Dalot's looked quite decent with his forward runs as well. But you'd probably say United's most dangerous player, or certainly the player that looks the sharpest at the moment, is Jadon Sancho. A really sharp 17 minutes for the former Borussia Dortmund player. I mean, Eriksen's definitely playing in this sort of quarterback role. Kind of fitting, isn't it, in the home of the Vegas Raiders. Good flick on to Forsen again. Down the right-hand side. Forsen, ball in. Oof. Right towards the back post. It was nearly towards Brandon Williams, but it was miles over his head. I mean, there's no doubt that Amari Forsen's getting a lot of the ball, but you can see why he's very young and very raw. He doesn't have a lot of end product. Sometimes doesn't make the right decisions. I bet Facundo's on the other side of the pitch thinking, I would love to be having the amount of time on the ball that Amari Forsen's having at the moment. In fact, perhaps they might end up switching him over. Because actually that's wrong. It should be... There you go. Because it's that. Palestri's actually on the left as opposed to Amari Forsen. I mean, because you've seen there, Dalot several times been willing to make the overlap run, hasn't picked him out. End product's not really there. Should have done better. It was a simple cross into the box, really. Big up Rich in the chat. Says, funny how Henderson has had 0 game time on tour. United journey is over for him. Indeed it is, but maybe his journey won't be concluded by going to Nottingham Forest because, of course, they're going after Turner, the Arsenal goalkeeper now, potentially. Hence why this sort of goalkeeper domino effect is starting to happen with maybe David Raya going to Arsenal. Which, to be honest, is a concern for me because then you start to wonder, well, if Henderson's not going to go to Forest, then where's he going to go? That would be my concern. A goalkeeper's a specialist position, so who then puts a bid in? And do we get the money that we're looking for? That's part of the concern as well. But of course, as you mentioned, he's been on the tour the whole time. Dortmund have a bit of possession here for the first time in a few minutes. Bit of space for Adeyemi. Takes the shot. Simple save for Tom Heaton. Tom Heaton can easily be number 2 for United this season. He's very competent, certainly. He played well against Arsenal. Although I'd still say Mati Kovar should be United's number 2. I think the 3 goalkeepers that United should have this season should be Andre Onana, Mati Kovar and Tom Heaton. I don't think there's a need to go get Suzuki from Japan. I don't think that's a good pass by Harry Maguire. Really good pass. Finds Christian Eriksen. Here's Jadon Sancho. Good pass to Facundo Palestri. He's in behind. Palestri. Maybe should have gone first time. Donny's an option. Cuts back. Here's Sancho again. Sancho. Oh, nearly played a 1-2 with Donny van der Beek. Jadon Sancho looks sharp. It was a really good pass to Facundo Palestri. And again, maybe if Palestri had bet on himself a bit more, just got it in there first time, that might have been the right option. But Sancho looks really sharp. His link-up play is excellent. Here come United again. Oh, he goes down. McTominay, he wants a penalty. Referee says no. Points to a goal kick. I'm not sure if there was a ton of contact. He might have been looking for it. Here's a look at the replay. McTominay tries to go past the Dortmund player. Nah, there's nothing in it. Nicolas Sula. No foul on McTominay. He was looking for the penalty. But one thing's for sure. Jadon Sancho playing very, very well. And as I mentioned before the match started, I really do think there might be something in him being a false nine for United this season. Not as the starting striker. That'll be Rasmus Højlund. And here's hoping that Martial can play games. But let's assume that he's not going to be able to complete games because last season he couldn't complete one. So if that is the case, I'd rather have Jadon Sancho as the second striker as a false nine than Marcus Rashford. I'd rather the options on the left-hand side be Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho. And the option on the right-hand side be Anthony and Ahmad. And the striking options, I'd rather that be Rasmus Højlund and Jadon Sancho. I think that's the best place for him this season. Eriksen, a bit sloppy on the ball. Dortmund win it back, edge of the box. Dortmund still have the ball. Malen is up against Dalot. Ball in. It wasn't... I mean, he beats the player, but the ball in was pretty poor. But just a reminder for United. Just a reminder. Can't switch off and don't be too sloppy on the ball. Rich says Erik ten Hag has a thing for that false nine. His first 11 for United had Eriksen as the false nine, and he used Tadic as the false nine a lot at Ajax. So, again, quite interesting. Jeffrey Taylor says, in terms of attendance, Sunday night is show night here in Vegas. People at Usher, Carrot Top, magic shows, etc. Unfortunately, a lot of Americans plan for that stuff, even if they do like the sport. That's very, very true. And some people might not know who Carrot Top is. I mean, prop comedian. He's been doing it for years and years. Quite divisive in the sort of comedy community because it's a prop comic and people say, how original do you have to be? But he's been doing it for years. And he's got one of the longest running residencies in Vegas at one of those hotels and casinos. Makes them all himself. If you haven't seen it, just Google Carrot Top. Again, he's been doing Vegas comedy shows for years. Harry Maguire passes it to Diogo Dalot on United's right-hand side. Cuts it back to Scott McTominay and out to Brandon Williams. Goes past, or trying to go past Adeyemi, does quite well. Here's Facundo. Facundo! That's got to be a foul. It is a foul. Good play by United. Facundo not having as much as the ball as Amari Forson on the opposite flank, but when he has had it, he's done well. He looks dangerous. Looks sharp as well. Was a bit of a foul. It's a strange pitch at the Allegiant Stadium as well. Flex and KG showed that when they had they gave us the insight to it. They say it's real grass, but it looks quite artificial too. And as you can see, when anything happens, there's a lot of, of sand and stuff popping up. So it kind of feels a bit AstroTurf-ish. But free kick, still 0-0. Nearly 24 minutes gone. Ball in by Eriksen. Oh, he fizzed it in. Donny. Dalot! Oh my goodness me! Diogo Dalot has scored an absolute screamer. Wow. Check your pulse. He's ice cold. Ice in his veins. Diogo Dalot. Who? Doesn't even really work. I think Dalwo is the best one. Oh, check it again. Check this one too. Look at that. Ball fizzed in by Eriksen. Comes out. Donny van de Beek gives it to Dalot. He's got a player. Look at that. He just bends it round the player coming towards him. That is an absolute beauty. Take another look at this. Diogo Dalot. Whoa. Slow down. My goodness me. Look at this. That is brilliant. That angle, that last one from behind the player, just uses him as a guide. Goalkeeper's got absolutely no chance whatsoever. Right back, it was David Beckham-esque. I know we're in the USA, but it's not Miami. It's Vegas. He gambled, and he wins. He bet on red. And it pays dividends. Not the dividends we like. 1-0 to Manchester United. That was nice. Diogo Dalot. Manchester United right back scores a screamer. Here comes United again. Facundo Palestri is into the box. He's being direct. That's why I like Facundo. That's why I like him. He just gets the ball and his mindset is, I'm getting in the box. I'm going at the fullback. I'm going at the centre-back. I don't care. He's just direct. And I'm not saying that's always the right thing to do, because sometimes it is the right thing to do to cut back, get your head up. But sometimes we don't see it enough with like the Antonys. You know what he's going to do every single time. But Facundo will just pick it up and go. Sometimes you need that sort of traditional old-fashioned winger. Corner ball. Headed away. That goal, by the way, by Diogo Dalot is a thing of beauty. When you see that last replay from in behind, and you see the curve and the bend, and again, how he's just used the player as a guide, that's absolutely sensational. And no disrespect to Wan-Bissaka, because I've said that he's United's starting right back, and I still believe he is, but Wan-Bissaka won't do that. I don't think Aaron Wan-Bissaka's going to score a goal like that. I'm not sure he's got the technique to do that. He suffers from condition, known as Bruck foot, which Dalot does not have. On either foot. He's both-footed, of course. It's a beauty. But I like that competition. That competition in that right-back spot is fierce. Because you've got both players have things that the other don't. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka is the better defender. The better defender than Diogo Dalot. But Dalot's got far superior technique to Wan-Bissaka. An example is a goal like that. And maybe, I say that, he's just giving the ball away. Harry Maguire, he tried to sort of play it off the player. Here's Adeyemi. Well, we're in trouble here. Ball into the box. And Heaton holds it quite well. United just again need to remind... Oh, it's a poor throw out. He went to throw it to Donny van der Beek and Emre Can's got it back already. But again, that's the difference between the two right backs. But I like that competition. And I did say that actually, when you think about it, the more that we get closer to an Erik ten Hag style, dominating possession, constantly having the ball, that's where Dalot is going to find himself more into the team. When it's less about one-on-one individual defending, and it's more about, again, having your foot on the ball, retaining possession and technique. That's maybe where Dalot is going to start to get his place back. Because remember, for the first half of last season, it was all Diogo Dalot. He was the Iron Man of the Manchester United team. Wan-Bissaka wouldn't play, and there was talks of getting a right back in the summer and in January. And just by sheer grit, determination, and maybe slightly sort of tweaking of the tactics, and Wan-Bissaka found himself back in and actually as United's starting right back. Oh, it's kicking off. Oh, going head-to-head here. Adeyemi. Oh, he's grabbed the shirt of Forson. Get out of here. Get out. He's just a child. Wow, it's like the Neville Southall thing. Well done. He's 14. I mean, you could hear it pitch side. They were having a go at each other. And then they both went head-to-head. And Jadon Sancho is actually talking to Amari Forson here, saying, mate, calm down. It's pre-season. You're a young kid in this team. It's an opportunity. Don't get sent off. Don't blow it. All kicking off, wasn't it? I think he might get booked. I appreciate the grit and determination, but use your head. It was a bit of a weird flare-up, honestly, wasn't it? Let's have a look. If they show... So it's a book and a piece. Referee does the right job there. Isn't a job's worth like the referee against Wrexham. It was nonsense. So Adeyemi dispossessed him. And it was really the other Dortmund player, the 26. Why are they going head-to-head? That is sometimes what I don't get. I understand sort of the tension of the game. That is so unnecessary. I mean, and again, Adeyemi grabs him by the shirt, by the scruff of the neck. Which in the Premier League, just ask Casemiro, is a straight red. Get ready for that again this season. What a crock of bullshit that was. Remember that at the time. And then you had some United fans trying to justify it as a red. Well, it is a red card in the letter of the law. And then we see like 10 million of them not giving us red cards throughout the season. Bullshit. It just reminded me how annoyed I was about that.
Bullshit.
I was furious. But referee gives him a book and a piece, which was what the referee should do in that situation. If you get people that go head-to-head, or there's a bit of pushing and shoving, they grab him by the collar, all that kind of stuff, just go book in, stop it. I don't want to ruin the game by dishing out red cards. And that's not even, again, like a pre-season thing. Just do that in the league. But no, Casemiro, VAR it. Oh, he's got to go. Even though another player, like 2 seconds before, was doing that. And in the next game, you'll see people doing that, and they don't give red cards. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But it was a very weird coming together, that. Like, very, very strange and unnecessary. Ugh. Harry Maguire gives it to Tom Heaton. Ensing says, bets for how long till Casemiro first red? You know what? I don't think Casemiro has to worry as much this season as Lisandro Martinez does. Legitimately, I'm worried about Martinez this season because I've already seen it. The narrative has been built about Martinez in pre-season because of a couple of quite zesty tackles, shall we say. The one against Arsenal and the one against Madrid. I've already seen people going, oh, Martinez, is he too aggressive? It's always something with him, isn't it? Oh, he's too small. He's too aggressive. He takes it too seriously. Can you believe that that's an actual narrative that they're going with? That people are taking friendlies too seriously? It's sport. It's competitive. My God. Just say you're a wuss and get over it. Ten Hag said there's no such thing as friendly. Good pass by Van der Beek. Jadon Sancho into the box. Good ball across. Oh, it's just a bit too much for Facundo Palestri. Good link up again, though, by Donny Van der Beek and Jadon Sancho. But as I mentioned, Leach is the one I'm worried about. I'm not worried as much about Casemiro. I do have a feeling that referees will be looking out for him. It's not the best ball by Sancho, to be honest. But Sancho looks really, really sharp so far. Rich says, you're right, Leach is going to be targeted. Jose says, I love Martinez for his aggression. Ed says, think Leach has some incentives in his deal to injure opponents' best players. I just think he just takes every game seriously. But again, my worry is that referees will be looking for him. Because as much as they say that they don't, they do look at players. And they do have, even subliminally, they have those players planted in their head. They have narratives about them. Casemiro was one last season. Once it had been planted in their head that Casemiro was a dirty player, he got booked every game, and then he was on the periphery of red cards. And sometimes they were justifiably certain bad tackles, and he walked the line. But you saw other players get away with it, and you saw other players get away with more. And my worries about Leach this season is they might have a similar kind of narrative for him. So I think what he has to do is not change his game, but he has to be wary to not get booked in the first couple of games, just to let it pass, sort of thing as well. Rich says, is that coffee or wine? It's coffee, of course. At this time in the morning. To get through the game. If it was a glass of red or something like that, I'd be asleep by half time. Here's Dortmund on the counter-attack. Switch. Oh, well done, Tom Heaton. Real good goalkeeping there. Dallo and Forster just kind of lost the player. Heaton decides early, I'm going to go. It's right on the edge of the box. Good goalkeeping. Lindelof gives it to Maguire. How many likes are we currently on? 206. We can do better. We can do more. If you haven't already, click that like button. And be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're 8 subscribers away. Count them. 8 subscribers away from 149,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Be sure to click the bell for notifications too. United 1-0 up, 33 minutes gone. Oh, bit sloppy pass there by McTominay. And Dallo wins it back up. No, it's not a foul. Good touch by the referee there as well. Adeyemi looks the most dangerous player for Dortmund, certainly. No doubt about that. To be honest, I know that Sabitzer started. I can't even remember a time he's been on the ball. Has Sabitzer touched it? I'm not sure I've even seen. And that's a throw-in to Dortmund. But yeah, it's really been what KG would call Adeyems. Adeyems! Throw-in for Dortmund. 34 minutes gone. Switch out to United's right-hand side for Dortmund. Up against Forsen, though. It's Hummels. Good forward pass. Adeyemi finds space every time. Takes a shot. Oh, it fizzes. And second time of asking, Heaton manages to grab it. I tell you what, again, he's definitely the most dangerous player for Dortmund on the pitch. And somehow, he keeps finding a way in that sort of number 10 position, around 25, 30 yards out, of finding space. He just sort of drifts, doesn't he? He drifts in from the flanks and just gets space, gets it out of his feet. He's a player. He's definitely a player. There's something there with him, isn't there? You could see him playing in the Premier League or like a top club in, let's say, Spain or something like that in the future. He looks lively, looks decent. Here come Dortmund again. Facundo wins the ball back. Definitely pulled back, but he keeps going. Good play by the winger on the left-hand side. Facundo keeps travelling. Where are you going to go, though? Gets a free kick. Was a bit fortunate because he ran into trouble. That's a booking. Straight away, look at that. Max Hummels is furious. Gets booked in a friendly. He wasn't happy about it. And Facundo's holding his ankle. He's rapid, though. That's what I like about Facundo Palestri again. He just gets it and he'll run. I was a bit worried because I thought he went into a bit of a yellow alley there. And maybe could have given it to Christian Eriksen or maybe Donny. But he wins a free kick. It's fine. And it's going to be a free kick to United. And the question is, who's going to take it? Is it going to be Eriksen? Maybe Sancho? Hey up. Anthony Dos Santos is coming on. Only after 35 minutes, Anthony's coming on. For who? It's got to be Forst. Unless he's not happy with Amari Forsten already. I mean, Forsten's already been booked and he's not had the best 36 minutes. So maybe Anthony's going to come on for Forsten. It's got to be. Ruthless, Ten Hag. He says the game's there for the taking. So it is going to be Christian Eriksen standing over this. Eriksen, Manchester United's number 14, steps up, takes a shot. Oh, tell you what, it went through the wall, I think. It's a good save by the goalkeeper. Did it go through the wall? He just fizzes it. And the goalkeeper makes a save. Let's have a look at this. Now, actually, just goes wide right of the goalkeeper. It's on the goalkeeper's side, so realistically, he probably should save it. Sometimes goalkeepers, and you kind of see it there, they shift onto the opposite foot because they think it's always going to go over the wall. So you're kind of gambling that he's going to shift too much and he can't recover and recuperate. But Anthony is coming on after close to 37 minutes. And Amari Forsen has been taken off. So there we go. Erik ten Hag's talking to the young player. He's pointing to him. He's chatting with him. I tell you what, he looked like he was telling him a bit of a stern lesson there, or certainly explaining why he's been taken off. Erik ten Hag not messing around. When you're playing in the first team, you've got to take first team lessons. Look at him. He's really talking to him. Really, really talking to him. Okay, maybe he's laying it down a little bit. Explaining why he's been taken off. Pointing to the pitch. Explaining his reasonings. Maybe it's a case of the booking. Maybe it's a case of he's not happy with what he was doing tactically. I mean, to be fair, look, it's rough, isn't it? Look, when it's a young player, you're starting in the first team, you've been taken off after 37 minutes, it's going to hurt. But Ten Hag, I think, is trying to point out that it's a lesson. He's probably pointing out that, look, you've been booked, there's a flare-up, and also, like we've been saying, look, he's had a lot of the ball. He's had the ball, he's had good opportunities, and maybe he's trying to point out that, and maybe he hasn't been following, some tactical situations too, and it's like, mate, you've got to follow the instructions. You've got to also manage your head. You're young. I don't want you to get sent off and hurt the team. That's it. Anthony's on. Ruthless by Erik ten Hag. But to be honest, when it comes to Forsen, and this is the key thing, people can say, it's demoralising for the player. Depends how the player takes it. Now, Erik ten Hag has spoken to him. I'm sure he'll speak to him again afterwards, and the player has to use it. You can get yourself down by it, or you can see it as a learning lesson, see it as development in your career, whether that's at United or not, and use it. Here's Jadon Sancho, finds himself in space again. Facundo Palestri. Palestri's going to run at the player. Dos Santos making the run. Anthony. Facundo cuts back. Good pass to Donny van der Beek. Oh, lift over the top. Anthony's not happy that he wasn't given the ball by Facundo Palestri, but where does it start again? It starts again from Jadon Sancho coming deep, getting the ball, turning, and giving it out to Facundo. Everything just goes through Jadon Sancho in that false nine role in this first half. He looks so lively, doesn't he? And maybe, I think there's an argument to be made there that maybe Facundo didn't make the right decision on the ball. But it goes through Jadon Sancho again. He's been really good in this first 40 minutes. Corner ball. Christian Eriksen's going to be standing over it. 1-0. Goal from Diogo Dalot, the difference so far. Eriksen lofted one back post to Maguire. Heads it across goal. It was a good header by Maguire. And somehow, United haven't tapped it in. I think it was Donny it went to. Good touch that by Brandon Williams. Out to Anthony. First real involvement on the ball. Sancho, good pass again to Christian Eriksen. Here's Sancho. Plays it to Eriksen. Good pass to Donny van de Beek. This is an opportunity. And it's just cut out again. But good link up. Once again, I know I've been saying this a lot in this half, but good link up between Jadon Sancho. Gives it to Eriksen. Good 1-2. Then finds the pass towards Donny van de Beek. It's good football by United, but Sancho again. I think in terms of a false 9, wow. Here's Christian Eriksen. Out to Sancho, who's now wide right. He's difficult to pick up because, again, he's all over the pitch. He's in a deeper role. He's wide right. He's wide left. Some people saying why not bring on Ahmad because he's not in the squad. He's injured. He's got a knee problem. Here's Anthony. So really the only option I think on the right-hand side was Anthony to bring on. Garnacho's not in the squad as well. The only thing missing is probably another goal for United. I think their dominance has deserved it. Diogo Dalot's screamer is the only difference at the moment. But United are well worth their 1-0 lead. Oh, good turn again by Jadon Sancho. Superb. Nearly give it to Donny van de Beek. But that is absolutely, again, brilliant. By Jadon Sancho. My goodness me. Great pass to Sancho. And he just pirouettes. I tell you, honestly, he has been absolutely superb. Look at that turn. Sends the defender. The only problem is probably just that final ball is a bit light, which he can do. But again, Jadon Sancho, he's just looking so sharp. His link-up play in that false 9 in the first half has been brilliant. Standout player, Jadon Sancho. Eriksen, ball in. Oh, it nearly went to Maguire. Heads it. I think Donny's going to keep it in. Donny gives it to Brandon Williams on the left. Can he give it back to Donny? He manages to do so. Donny van de Beek gives it to Diogo Dalot. And some of the link-up play by United has been really good. Here's Sancho again. Again, deeper position. Out wide to Anthony this time. Anthony left foot. Too much on it. Goes out for a goal kick. Not the best cross. But we've seen the link-up from the likes of Eriksen to Sancho. Sancho to Donny. Sancho to Facundo. Really, really impressive. And obviously, look, it's a Dortmund side. I think it's one of their stronger 11s, and this isn't even United's strongest team. And I think Dortmund largely have been quite poor. It's really only really Adeyemi that's impressed me so far. Again, the only other thing missing from United would be another goal, because we've deserved it. Oh, he's been sold there, Brandon Williams. Here's who else? Adeyemi again. Ball in the box, cuts back, Adeyemi. And it's 1-1. Exactly, 1-1. So I think it's Sebastian Haller. Reaction and to be honest, they don't really deserve it. But if you make mistakes and you don't take chances and you just have good link-up play, that's going to happen. Who does it come from again, though? It's Adeyemi. He's been the most dangerous player for Dortmund on the pitch. They don't really defend it particularly well. Brandon Williams actually got spun in the first part of this. Have a look. I'm not sure why Brandon Williams commits like he does. Adeyemi just spins him. It wasn't going to come from anywhere else. And Adeyemi's part of it just ricochets out to Sebastian Haller. I'm not sure who's really marking Haller. Whoever it is, they lost him. It might be Dalot. He's right in front of Tom Heaton. And it's a bit of fortune and Dortmund score. Again, they don't particularly deserve it. United have really dominated possession and dominated the proceedings here. But it comes from Adeyemi. I don't know why, as I mentioned, why Brandon Williams committed to that tackle the way he did. There was absolutely no need to do so there. You've got the ball. Adeyemi's coming. He's got his back to goal. He's about 50 yards away from goal. And Brandon Williams just flies into a tackle. No need. Puts his team under pressure. United don't react to it, certainly. Oh, he's given the ball away again. Here they come again. It's Sebastian Haller. It's 2-1. I can't believe this. Absolute ridiculous. Malin, it's not... I can't believe it. We're 2-1 down. How on earth do you manage that? Two mistakes. Brandon Williams again. Brandon Williams is saying to Tom Heaton, it's your fuck up. Well, mate, you did it one before. Manchester United, they've dominated the game. It's poor. Look at that. It's Victor Lindelof. He's onside. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's no VAR. And then from 12 yards out, slides it past the goalkeeper. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Dominated the game. Played really well. 2-1 down. Dortmund haven't even been in the game. And they score immediately after scoring their first goal. Unbelievable. And that's what happens. After all that good play, after all that good build-up play, you've undone yourself by two mistakes. Sloppy. And that's what Eric Ten Hag will be talking about. Take your chances. If you're dominant, make it count. Because you're always a couple of mistakes away from going 2-1 down. Now you've got to calm down. My goodness me. Right, well, show some character. Or have those first teamers, those people that are going to start, are they going to have to bail you out? 2-1 down. Unbelievable. And to be honest, I think those forward players, so your Sanchos, your Ericssons, your Donnies, even maybe your Facundos in the first half will turn around and say, we played well. we played well. They're looking at that sort of back four, back five going, what on earth have you done? Because they're two real poor mistakes, really, as I mentioned. That first goal, it's Williams diving into a tackle. I don't know why he does it. And then the second one, I was the Lindelof who gave the ball away, I think it was. 2 mistakes in the space of 60 seconds. And you can swear and shout all you want, but people know whose mistake it was. That's part of the problem. 2-1 down. Unbelievable. Said if I was the attacking players, I'd be furious at the moment. Okay, great. You've made us look like shit. Again, Dortmund haven't been great. Adeyemi's been the one for him. He's been really, really good. And just like that, we go into half-time, 2-1 down. My God. 2 goals in the space of about 60 seconds, and it's half-time. Wow, wow, wow. Let me know your thoughts about that. It's frustrating that, because that leaves a really sour taste in the mouth, because actually United for 44 minutes there played really well. And particularly people like Jadon Sancho played excellently. I think that's the best I've seen Jadon Sancho play for Man United for a really long time in the false 9 role. He was excellent. Christian Eriksen, his link-up play was really good. Donny van de Beek, I thought, had a really solid first half. Facundo, maybe some decision-making wasn't great at times, but I think he looked dangerous. And then you've got a great goal also as well from Diogo Dalot. Bends it round the goalkeeper. Excellent. United dominating the game. And somehow we found ourselves 2-1 down. I say somehow. It's pretty obvious how we found ourselves 2-1 down at half-time. 2 really, really poor goals. Really shocking mistakes. Again, the first one, Brandon Williams committing into a tackle against Adeyemi for no apparent reason. United then don't react to it. It forces Sebastian Haller. And then just 30 seconds later, after conceding that one, what happens? Yeah, Brandon Williams, Victor Lindelof give the ball away straight in, and there you go. Really, really disappointing, that. And obviously, look, again, you don't want to get too carried away because, again, it's pre-season, and on the whole, United actually played really well in that first half. That's the frustrating thing, is from an attacking point of view and a link-up play, we were really, really good. And again, Jadon Sancho, it's probably one of the best games I've seen him have in a real long time. But mistakes, individual errors, and that's what we spoke about against Real Madrid, wasn't it? Individual errors, and it's come back and cost us again. Which again, it's a strange one. It's a difficult one to take, that, because I think actually we did play quite well, but at the same time, it's frustrating to be losing as well. So let me know your thoughts about that in the live chat. Before I get to some of your comments too, we've got to give a shout out, a pause for the cause, as always, starting off with Prime Planet. As always, this video is brought to you by Prime Planet. They are the best in class for all your travel, entertainment, and hospitality needs around the world. So whenever you see Flex, KG, and Josh jet setting around the globe, be it in the USA, Australia, Thailand, Spain, and beyond, Prime Planet gets us there as UV's travel partner. Click the link in the video description below and get all your travel, entertainment, and hospitality needs covered. Also, here's another word.
This video is brought to you by Cracks Only. Check out the link in the video description below to get to their website and check out their latest products. Trust me, you do not want to miss them.
You do not want to miss them, indeed. How good the Flex and KG look. As Flex said, this video is also brought to you by Cracks Only. Make sure you click the link in the video description to check out their latest catalogue of streetwear. They're currently doing big things in Los Angeles, California, with many MLS stars wearing their products. So if you want to dress like the stars, you know what to do. Check them out in the video description. As Flex says, you won't regret it. Let's get some reaction to what you guys are saying in the chat after that first half as well. I think we've got a mixed bag, actually, which again is quite interesting. Kyle says, horrible. This is what Erik ten Hag is referring to when he speaks about the consistency. We can't even do it for 45 minutes. Played well, but it means nothing because we just lost that half in the last minute. Which, again, I think is maybe a bit where I'm coming from. I wouldn't go horrible or anything like that, but I think the point is that, and I saw some people getting quite angry about this when I mentioned this against Real Madrid, is that they'll go, oh, we played well. And you go, yeah, I didn't go as far as to say we played really well against Real Madrid. I thought at points we were quite sloppy. We had some good stuff, but we were quite sloppy. And ultimately, what really matters in the season, not so much in pre-season, but in the season, will be the scoreline. You can play well for games, but ultimately, it's on the scoreboard that what matters. And for 44 minutes there, we played really well. For 44 minutes, we played excellently. As I mentioned, Jadon Sancho, I've been waxing lyrical about him in that first half, and I've been saying before the stream even started, that false nine is an option for him this season, and I think that's evidence of it, but it also goes to show that games can turn like that, and you have to make the most of your dominance, and you have to take your chances if indeed you do get them, and you're only a couple of mistakes away from going behind. And I think, again, for those players that are on the periphery, like your Brandon Williams, people will be pointing to that saying, you've undone good work that you've done with a mistake like that, honestly. What else have we got here? Jeffrey says, the offensive plate can be mad, but also players can be mad, but also be mad at themselves for not finishing their food as well. Who cares about build-up with no end product? Claude says delusional as well. Wow. Just Kevin says, love to see Sanch getting love. Palmeria says, that back three combo of Maguire, Lindelof and Williams proves it doesn't matter who the goalkeeper is. It's like having 8 men on the pitch. What else are we saying here in the chat too? Again, it is quite a mixed bag. Big up Josh in the chat, says man like Owen. Al Max says, Sancho is finally playing decent. Claude says, these guys never played with each other. But to be honest, Claude, when people say stuff like that, it's not particularly true, because whilst that might be the first time this specific 11 has played with each other, they play with each other in training every single day. So it's not like they're complete strangers, and that's not a justification of mistakes, again, for particularly those 2 goals. That first one, and people can say, oh, you're hating on Brandon Williams. He shouldn't dive in. There is no need to commit to the tackle like he did with Adeyemi there. And obviously stuff happens after that, but you put your team under pressure. The second one, Victor Lindelof, it's a shocking pass. I mean, it's really poor. And he has to take blame for that as well. And again, it just goes to show that dominance, build-up play is one thing. Got to take chances, and you got to finish your, as someone said earlier, you got to finish your food, otherwise you'll be punished for it. Sashiv says, big up Owen, appreciate the contribution, says, we clearly gifted Dortmund 2 goals, and also we got to take our chances. No doubt, again, we played really well in terms of the build-up play too, but it's just, again, it's frustrating. Losing, being 2-1 down is always frustrating, especially when you know you've been the better team, and clearly we were the better team in that half. And also as well, a lot of those players would be, as I said before the match started, once the team news came out, would be looking at that as, right, this is me to show if I can stay at United or I should be breaking into the first team. Now, some of those more offensive players might feel like they did themselves justice. I mean, they didn't score all the goals. Actually, it was a defender that scored the goals, but they would say, well, I think I gave a good account of myself. Those defensive players, they'll be frustrated too, because they'll say, well, again, for 43 minutes, I was all right. Just seeing a replay of the goal here, I'm just looking at it again. I have no idea why Brandon Williams does that with Adeyemi. Again, a lot happens after that. Ball comes into the box. It bounces around. Dalot loses his man. He's kind of standing in front of Tom Heaton, where maybe he should be following, because it's his man that he, again, look, he drifts off him, doesn't react. It's just ball watching and not watching the player. So that was poor from Dalot for that goal. But again, if you look at the root of it, I don't know why Brandon Williams dived into that tackle against Adeyemi, who was their best player on the pitch. Adeyemi was clearly the player that had the biggest threat. He's fast, finds space, always finds space on the ball. But Brandon Williams is a player that's up for sale this summer, no doubt about it. And I don't think that's changed people's minds or anything like that. There's Sabitzer. I don't even know if Sabitzer's touched the ball or anything like that too. What else are people saying in the chat too? George with the super chat says, confidence is low. I don't think that those 2 mistakes are confidence ones, because here's the second goal. I'm just watching it back now. Dalot gives it back to Tom Heaton, who gives it to Victor Lindelof. and he's got time to turn. And I think maybe he's looking for Donny, but there's clearly a yellow player there. It's just, I'm not sure again. A bit like with Brandon Williams, that first one, I don't see what Victor Lindelof sees there. Clearly, he just hasn't seen that yellow shirt. He could easily go to Brandon Williams. He doesn't. He decides to try and play it to Donny, but there's clearly a player there, and it's just a massive lapse of judgment or lapse of composure by Victor Lindelof. You could argue, oh, should Tom Heaton give him the pass there? But he's still got options. He could go back to the goalkeeper, or he could give it to Brandon Williams, and just picks the wrong option. And then after that, I don't think you can blame other people for that, because the players threw on goal. It was just, again, a bizarre choice, and that's really what the 2 goals stem from. Just bizarre choices from the United players. Brandon Williams for that first one, and then Victor Lindelof. Again, absolutely bizarre. And again, it undoes what was a good first half by United. They played well. The build-up play was good, but we find ourselves behind, and it'll be really interesting to see what Erik ten Hag says. Obviously, negatives will be those 2 goals conceded. Negatives will be the real sloppy nature of the goals. We didn't get undone by great play by Dortmund. We didn't get undone by them playing fantastically. We got undone by ourselves. The positives will be that going forward, we look like a threat. As I mentioned, Jadon Sancho, I think, was the best player on the pitch, easily for United, but just in general, again, one of the best 45 minutes I've seen him play, honestly. And I really do think there's an option there. Again, I think Eriksen's done fairly well. I thought Donny looked bright in moments. Facundo also. That's why I like him, is because he picks up the ball and just goes directly at defenders. But the thing will also be is, did any of the attackers score? No, they did not. So that's part of it as well. How many likes have we got at the moment? We've got nearly 800 people watching, which is great, at nearly 3 a.m. Here in the UK. So let's see if we can get to 500 likes. We're currently at 282. So if you haven't already, click that like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. Bottom right-hand corner, you can see top right, we're at 148,993. 7. Just count them. 7. That's all we need. 7 subscribers to get to 149,000. So if you haven't already subscribed, let's see if we can get to 149,000 before the end of the game. I believe that we can do that. What else have we got here? Just Kevin says, I can't wait for the Sancho Højlund link up with the cold emoji. Again, I think as much as people have criticised Sancho, and I have, I'll be first to praise him if he plays like that more often. I thought, I thought he was brilliant. I thought his link-up play was excellent with the likes of Eriksen, with Donny, with Pellistri. Only thing really missing for him was a goal, but I can't say that he had any sort of real direct opportunities to score in that first half, in all honesty. But he was certainly our best player, no doubt about that. Santiago says, those 2 goals are so avoidable. Dortmund should not be winning. No, but it just goes to show that's football sometimes, isn't it? You don't get what you deserve. You get... if you score goals, you're more likely to win, and mistakes can happen at any point, and you have to retain your composure. James with the super chat says, big up to the channel, and Owen, you're a genius for supporting United View. We're just humble. What's that thing? Have you seen that puppet when it's like a BBC program? We're just normal men. we're just ordinary men. we're just normal men. Luxil, with one of the members and moderators, says, Owen, someone on Twitter said Sancho had to be around men in yellow shirts for him to play like a direct winger again. Well, he wasn't even a direct winger. He was playing like a false 9, wasn't he? His link-up play was absolutely excellent. And as I've said, I feel like that's a real possibility for him this season. I think if you look at the options on the wing, you'd say Rashford, Garnacho for the left. The right-hand side, you could have Anthony. You could have Ahmad. I don't know what's going to happen with Facundo. There was rumours of him possibly going to Boca Juniors on loan. But let's say Facundo, maybe he does stay. Where does that leave Sancho? Is he going to play on the left? Is he going to play on the right? Is he going to play as a 10? Play him as a false 9. We got Martial. He can't play 90 minutes. We got Rasmus Højlund. But keep Rashford away from the centre-forward role. He's more effective on the left. Let's do it like that. So I think Sancho's a real option, certainly. John James says, we'll win this. I can see our pattern. Jeffrey Taylor says, we're just normal men. I swear that clip's really old as well, with that like dog thing. We're just normal men. I've got to get that on the soundboard, don't I? I absolutely do. Billy says Maguire should be gone. I didn't think even Maguire was that bad in the first half. That's where I think people go too far. Was Maguire at fault for any of the goals? Not really. I mean, I guess as a collective for the first one, maybe he could have reacted a bit better, but that would be harsh on him. I think he's been okay in the first half, honestly. If you're going to look at individuals for the goals, it'd be Williams and Lindelof for the goals respectively, honestly. Mr. Dav says back three is a mess. John James says, I'm not reading over critical opinions on this right now. Apart from a brain fart, we've been okay. And again, that's the thing, isn't it? And that will be the thing that gets people at each other, certainly on social media. I mean, I'm not on there now because I'm talking to you guys, but the thing that'll be at each other is there'll be two schools of thought, won't there? There'll be the school of thought that's the more sort of positive one, which is actually we played pretty well in that first half and we don't deserve to be losing. We deserve to be leading by even more than one goal. But there'll be the other school of thought that'll be we weren't composed enough. These players aren't good enough. The goals were shit. We're shit. And in reality, it's kind of somewhere in the middle as well, isn't it? And it's also pre-season. This team, I mean, something catastrophic would have to happen for this team. We'd have to have, an outbreak of injuries and illness, food poisoning or whatever. This team, I mean, clip it, this team will not start against Wolves in the Premier League on the first game of the season. It ain't gonna happen. Like, it's not. Imagine the team sheet comes out, Old Trafford, Monday Night Football first week, and this is the team. You'd be like, what are you talking about? That's not the team that's going to start. And I think a real positive indication might be actually if indeed Dortmund keep the same team. We're not sure what Dortmund are going to do in the second half. You would assume maybe our first team is going to come on as well. And if we'd have had our strongest team out, you would think, hopefully, anyway, we'd have been far away from Dortmund in that half. This is our B team, most of it anyway. So it'd be interesting to see when Ten Hag again does bring those players on. We're assuming that he will. It's going to be interesting to see if he follows the same pattern, a bit like Real Madrid, where this group of players play 60 minutes and then the rest will come on for 30. Or if he just says, no, 45 is enough and he brings on the rest of the big hitters. And if Dortmund keep their same team, you would think our big hitters will be more than enough to bring the goals back. But we're going to need at least 2 goals. So here's hoping we get a second half full of goals too. What do you think Erik Ten Hag would be saying to those players at half-time? It's a lesson. And sometimes that's just what pre-season's about, isn't it? And that is where I do agree with people, where they say sometimes you can't overreact to pre-season. I mean, I do agree in the sense of you can look at performances and say that wasn't good enough, or that was poor, or you should be doing better than that, etc., etc. But you also have to look at scenarios, don't you? And the scenario would be here is that you can dominate a game and you can know that you're the better team and you've been playing the better stuff. You can still lose it though. You can still lose it because you took your eye off the ball. You can still lose it because you weren't good enough, or you were sloppy, or you lost composure. Till the very last second, you have to be focused and you can't make rash decisions, because in top level football, if you make a rash decision, a bit like with Williams for that first one, you dive in, you can get caught for it. You can get punished, and that's what happened. Lindelof, you do a bad pass, you'll get punished for it at top level football against decent teams. And again, that could be a positive scenario moving forward in the season, certainly as well. So I think that's something to consider too. Players are just coming out. It doesn't look like there's been any subs, actually, for United anyway. I think maybe their goalkeeper, the Dortmund goalkeeper, has been changed. But for United, it does look like, again, Ten Hag's following the similar pattern that he did against Real Madrid, which is the players that start probably get 60 minutes, and then the rest will come on, I think. So there you go. Cheers, by the way, guys. It's coffee, obviously. But thank you, because this is the last late one that I'm doing. Obviously, we'll be doing 2 more pre-season games. We've got the one at Old Trafford and the one in Dublin. But I appreciate everyone that stayed up late, or probably where you are, it might not even be late, actually. But thank you to everyone that's joined in. I hope you've enjoyed the Asylum. I certainly have. I love doing these kind of watch-alongs like this, or match views, whatever you want to call them. They're very intimate and they're a lot of fun. And it's much appreciated, everyone sticking with me and sticking with the channel throughout this pre-season. I very much appreciate it. Well, Tom Heaton's off and Andre Onana is on. So there you go. I can play it now. Let me get that out of the way. Who's on? Well, KG, you can answer.
Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na na na. It's all about Rashi, Bruno, Mason, and Sanchi. They all play for the Red Army. And who the manager to Hagi. Shut up.
Shut up. Always the shut up. There you go. Second half is underway at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sin City. And here comes Andre. He's on the pitch. I tell you what, that black kit looks slick, doesn't it? I am a fan of a black goalkeeper's kit. United have had several throughout the years. I think of 2003, the Barthez one with the short sleeve. I think of the Roy... I had the what was it? 2005? It was like sequins. It looked like a figure skating. Oh, look at that pass by Andre Onana to Harry Maguire, who switches it out to Christian Eriksen. He's something else, any Andre Onana. Eriksen once again on the ball. Switch. Good touch by Anthony. Goes past the player. Well played. He's up against Matt Hummels. Tries to go past him. And it's just kind of typical Anthony. You know what I mean? Goes past the player. Little touch. That's it. United win it back though. Eriksen. And this is what we saw. This is what we saw in the first half. United being decent on the ball. Good build-up play. But unfortunately, 2-1 down. But Andre Onana, yeah. He's something else. He really is. Here's Sancho again. This time off the left-hand side. Hopefully, again, he has another real positive half. Andre Onana. He's already passed Harry Maguire on the pitch. Looking for options. Brandon, that's a better pass. Find Scott McTominay. Donny van der Beek lifts it out to Diogo Dalot. Passes it out to Anthony once again. There is support from Dalot. Anthony, is he going to go for the overlap or is he going to pass it back? Christian Eriksen, about 25 yards out. Not the best touch, but he tries the through ball. It wasn't the right, completely different wavelengths, Eriksen and Anthony. He tried to sort of slide him through. Anthony was running past the ball actively, but it was a good pass down. As much as I'm going to criticise, I'll praise. It was a good pass initially by Brandon Williams. Fizzed it into McTominay. That's what you need to sometimes have. And I'm sure if you asked, again, Ten Hag, for the majority of the first half, he'd have been really happy. But he's a details guy, and he'll be furious that nearly again, United have screwed it up again. Here we go, could be 3. Good save by Andre Onana. A second one and he's missed. And I tell you what, Andre Onana is absolutely furious. And he's got a right to be, because we should be 3-1 down and it's the same mistake again. It's a poor pass, sloppy, give it away. And if it wasn't for Andre Onana, it'd be 3-1. To those people that say Andre Onana can't make saves, he's just made one. It's a one-on-one and he just reads it. He just reads the play. It's a good save by Andre Onana and he's absolutely furious. And I would be as well, because that's poor. You know, you can make a mistake once, but if you make the same one at the beginning of the second half, that's just sloppiness. That's just shit. Absolutely furious. And here he comes again. It's a shot by Dortmund. Goes out for a goal kick. That's just poor, isn't it? I mean, at this point, Dortmund are like, we don't even have to attack. We don't have to attack because United have got, United nearly gave Dortmund 3 assists in the game. And from Onana's point of view, he's probably looking at some of these players going, I can do this. They're simple passes. Pick out a red shirt, man. Brandon Williams, good pass. Anthony, you can beat him for pace. You know you can beat him for pace. The defender does really well in the end, actually. Oh, Dalot tried to skip ahead, goes out for a Dortmund throw-in. Good, though. I'm glad that Andre Onana did that. Again, there's no such thing as a friendly. And I want to see a replay of that chance in terms of the build-up for it. It's a really good tackle, actually, by the Dortmund player. But Andre Onana, I think it was it to Maguire he went up to? And basically, fucking shit, mate. That was rubbish. Good. And again, he can back it up. Because not only did he make the save, but he'll also... I'd have made that pass. I'd have absolutely made that pass. Here comes Adeyemi again. Ball across. And there on Onana, he's calm, he's composed. Eriksen goes long. Adeyemi's dangerous, isn't he? He's top quality. You noticed that just in the first half, after his first touch, where he sort of found space 25 yards out, took a shot, Heaton was comfortable, but he's good. You can tell he's good. He's not going to stick at Dortmund forever. He'll go to a big club. I know it's only pre-season, but he just looks a cut above of the Dortmund players that are on the pitch right now. Pressure him, pressure him. Coordinated press. Unlucky though, but that's better. Press from the front. Goes out for a Dortmund goal kick. It was Anthony in the end, but that's better. And the question is, are they going to show... I want to see a replay of that. Not only the save by Andre Onana, but also the error that led up to it. As the United players are warming up. Looks like we are going to see wholesale changes in about 10 minutes or so. But in all honesty, despite being the better team, we should be 3-1 down. And also, again, to those people that will... There's been this weird narrative about Andre Onana, hasn't there? With some fans that he's just an outfield player that plays in goal and he can't make saves. We saw him make a save against Real Madrid. We saw him make a good one-on-one save there. Now, in those situations, you know, the striker should score. And it's more... Keeper makes a good save, but in those instances, as a keeper, you're just hoping, I hope they screw up a bit and they give me a chance. They gave him a chance, he did his job. But that's, again, it's been a weird narrative about Onana, like he's not a good shot stopper. He is. Here's Anthony up against the defender. Where are you going to go? Luckily, Sancho picks up the ball. But again there, you see Anthony just goes into the yellow wall, doesn't he? McTominay. Pass to Facundo. Brandon Williams is there if he needs him. Doesn't know he's there. Donny van der Beek. Out to Diogo Dalot in the box. Decent feet. Tries to get it across. Gets blocked. Oh, edge. Takes a shot. It's in. It's 2-2. 2-2 Manchester United. Who was it? Was it Anthony? I think it was. Of course, you could tell. You could tell by the finish. Anthony. Anthony special. Inside. Just bent in nicely. Side-footed. Bottom corner. 2-2. You're level. Better. You get what you deserve. But Dortmund will be thinking, we should be 3 goals. We should add 3 goals. We screwed it up. United are back into it. And it's a bit of persistence. It's a bit of persistence by United because they just keep the move alive. Dortmund don't clear it well enough. Donny, well done. Good finish. It's a poor clearance. It comes off to Donny. And Anthony just guides it into the bottom corner. 2-2. It's a really ugly goal. It's a really ugly goal from their perspective. Some really poor defending in this game. But Anthony, it's actually a really nice cultured finish. Uses the play. It's a bit like Dalot's one in the first half in the sense that he just uses the players to sort of just sweep the ball around inside of the foot. 2-2. And credit to United for keeping the move alive. Again, it was a poor clearance by Dortmund. Sort of ricochets off Donny. Does it count as an assist? Maybe. But it's 2-2. But who cares? You can have flash goals like you had with Diogo Dalot in the first half, or you can have ugly ones like that. They all count the same. As I said at halftime, it's the score sheet that matters. And currently, it's 2-2. United are level, and it looks like, again, the more higher quality player is going to be coming on soon, and hopefully they can kill off this game. But you got to take your chances, and that's what United did there. They got gifted a bit of an opportunity by some poor defending by Dortmund, and they took it. And to be honest, again, we're 2-2 now. Who do we have to thank for it? Obviously, Anthony scored the goal, but we also have to thank for it Andre Onana. Because if it wasn't for him, we'd be 3-1 down. So he deserves some credit for that, certainly, too. And again, I think Donny did all right there, didn't he? Well, he got a bit lucky, but he's done all right in this game, I think, Donny. There's Onana. Good pass to Lindelof. Puts it to Facundo. Good inside pass. Christian Eriksen. Who's he looking for? He's looking for Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams takes it. Sancho's in the middle. Sancho's in the middle. Puts it across. Oh, unlucky. Better play. Better play there by United. Good take by Brandon Williams. And I tell you what, I really like the positioning of Sancho once again. He was ready. Holds his line well. Look at that. That's a good forward run. You could argue maybe he should just do it a little bit earlier. He doesn't need the second touch, the last touch that Brandon Williams takes. If he gets his head up quicker, he could just put it across to Sancho. He gives the defender an opportunity to get in. Obviously, it's very easy to say with a replay, of course. But once again, Sancho in that middle role, I like him. I think that's a big takeaway in this game, certainly. Free kick, corner. Christian Eriksen, all the United players surrounded it, by the way. Ball in. Headed away by Dortmund, and it's out for a throw-in. Kaka says, Donny over Mount. I think Donny's done well in this game. I thought he did well when he came on against Real Madrid. I did. I thought out of those players that came on in the sort of 65th minute, he was one of the best. Thought his link-up play was all right. Here's Eriksen. Oh, just a bit heavy. He might have been looking actually for Sancho again. United win it back. That's a foul. Well done, Scott McTominay. It's a nasty one. It's a nasty one, that. I don't like it.
So where's the card then? Where's the card?
But he's fine. The Man United captain at the moment. He does well though, Scott McTominay there. Gets the free kick. And it's going to be Christian Eriksen standing over it. He's going to try and swing it in. There's quite a high line. They're all on the edge of the box. Goes quick to Facundo Palestri. Decent turn. Oh, is offside. Gone a bit too fast there. Had young Facundo. Christian Eriksen clinging on to that hairline at this point. That's the sign of a good player, though. I love a holding midfielder with a receding hairline. Very Zidane-ish, isn't it? You know, got the bold spots all over the place, but it means he's good, experienced. I don't know what it is sometimes. You know when you just see those players, they play sort of deep line playmaker. Their hair's clearly receding. You go, must be good. It must be quality. Can't run at a high pace, but can spray the ball around nicely. You always see him. Here's Dortmund again. Cut out by McTominay. Facundo. Oh, what's that again? Just a sloppy pass. Dortmund. And the shot's blocked. Individual errors. Individual errors again. Communicate. Sloppy passing. And that, again, that's what cost us against Real Madrid. Individual errors. Ten Hag will say that to him. Eriksen. Here's Jadon Sancho. Dropping deep again. Shrugs off the challenge. Sancho once again puts it out to Anthony on the right-hand side. Anthony once again. 2-2 into the 58th minute. Oh, what's going on here? What's the referee stop the game for? Someone's bleeding. Oh, Facundo. He's got a bloody lip. He's done quite well. Facundo, he's looked dangerous. He's looked direct, fast. Again, that's why I like him. He's a different kind of winger than I think what we've got at the club. We've got a lot of wide players that kind of do. That's a good ball over the top by Christian Eriksen. He spotted the run of Diogo Dalot. Dalot with a decent touch. Oh, pirouette, lovely. Left foot, cuts it back. Oh. That's the good communication between the players. Here comes Adeyemi again. Here he goes. He's so dangerous. Can we make a bid? Or next season? I'd take him. He's brilliant. Oh, he's in. Here comes Adeyemi again. Played a 1-2. Adeyemi's in the box. Puts it back. And Malin with a shot. It's deflected behind for a corner. Adeyemi's the real deal. I honestly, every time he picks up the ball, in my head, I'm going, ooh. It's a contest between him and Jadon Sancho for the two best players on the pitch so far, I think. Real quality. Quick, confident, ball just sticks to his feet. Somehow finds space every single time. Players are scared of him. It'll be one to watch. Certainly. Corner ball for Dortmund. Ball in. It's a header. Oh, it's off the bar. My goodness me. United fragile. Fragile. I said not like a bull in a china shop because everything's broken. A sort of, I don't know, tranquilized bull. You're just waiting for it to wake up and break china. That's what United are like at the moment. Very, very rocky. Just when you think United have got control of the game again and they're going to score, Dortmund, nearly. Wow. I'm not sure whose person it was meant to be. Here come Dortmund again. They're in transition. They found Adeyemi. Be careful. He's up against Brandon Williams. Adeyemi with the shot. He's dangerous. Thankfully, it goes wide of the goal, and player going to be coming off. Adeyemi has Brandon Williams on toast. Absolute toast. Onana was comfortable. Who was it? It was Maguire's player. Oh my. It came off Harry Maguire. It wasn't even a Dortmund header. It was a Harry Maguire header.
Disgusting!
Of course it was. Of course. Harry was having a look saying, all these people scoring goals.
Acknowledge me.
Oh. Right, lots of substitutions at the moment. Let's see what this team looks like. Well, Johnny Evans is definitely on. I know that. Because I can see him. Johnny Evans is definitely coming on. Let's have a look. Luke Shaw's on. Now I've got to do the pit stop. It's probably going to end horrifically. So Shaw's on. I know that. Dallow's off, which will mean Wan-Bissaka's on. Johnny Evans and Alessandro Martinez. Dortmund are also making changes too. Who else has come on? I saw Bruno. Let's have it once I can actually see the pitch. I'll let you know. The pit stop is rather slow at the moment. I don't think we're going to break records this time round. I saw Rashi's on. Adeyemi's off too, which is good, thank God. Right, Mason Mount's on as well. So Ericsson will be off. McTominay will be off. Do that. Casemiro's on. So Rashford's off the left. I think Sancho's still on, by the way. And Bruno will be on in the 10. Where's Bruno? I think that's it. And United certainly pressing. Well, that's what, to be honest, minus Johnny Evans for Rafael Varane, most likely this would probably be the team you expect to start against Wolves, realistically. You got Onana in goal, Wan-Bissaka right back, Martinez, again it will be with Rafael Varane, Luke Shaw, Casemiro and Mason Mount in midfield, Anthony on the right hand side, Bruno Fernandes in the 10, Marcus Rashford on the left, and Jadon Sancho up front. Obviously, you maybe think Rasmus Højlund might be in by that point then. Depends how much pre-season he actually gets. But strong team. Let's go get a couple of goals and dominate. Smash a like if you like this team, by the way. 50,000 at Allegiant Stadium. Despite... Rashford went for a nutmeg, didn't pay off. And that's a free kick. Luke Shaw with a foul. By the way, we did it. 149,005 now. Round of applause in the chat. Big up to everyone who's a new subscriber this evening. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Add to the 149,000. But big up the UV community. Ever expanding and growing. Big things coming in the season. Of course, more pre-season fixtures to come first. But big things in the season. Obviously, lots of games. Lots of intros. Lots of news shows. Some big stuff planned. So, thank you for deciding to join us, selecting us, and believing in us. Thank you for
believing
in us here at UV. It's very much appreciated. Every single one of you. It really does matter, and it really does count. I know that's so cliche to say, but without you, I wouldn't be here doing this at this time in the morning. Instead, I'd just be sitting in the dark watching it in my bed. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Gives it to Marcus Rashford. He's onside. Rashford cuts it back. Mason Mount. Or is it going to go to Wamba?
Bloody hell.
He's suffering from that condition is terminal. Brock foot. See, that's where Mason Mount doesn't know his teammate. He hasn't been playing with Wan-Bissaka that long. If you've played with Wan-Bissaka for 2 or 3 years, you don't leave that ball to him. You say, oh my God, it's Wamby. Shit. No. Wow. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. The difference between him and Dalot. That's what I literally said it in the first half. That is the difference between him and Diogo Dalot and Wan-Bissaka, is that Diogo Dalot can whip one from 25 yards out into nearly the top corner of the net. Wan-Bissaka from about 12 yards can sky it into the strip. I'm sure it's going to land somewhere on the Vegas Strip in a casino or something like that. Here's Rashford again. Off the left. What's going on here? I think they've... Was it offside? Or was the player injured? Thomas Meunier, I think he's pulled his hamstring or something like that. No, it's gone. You can tell his hamstring's gone. Rashford stops. See. Look at that, nasty. Knight says, weren't we linked with that guy? We were. We were linked with Meunier a couple of times, weren't we? We were linked with him a couple of times, actually. Oh, it's just Wan-Bissaka's shot. Sorry. Look at that, over there. Got to be careful. You never know where it's going to land. Across the Atlantic. It landed. I will do that every single time someone skies it over the bar, by the way. People will say, that's a recycled joke, Owen. I know. I've only got a select few. Rashford. Switches out to Anthony. Rashi again. Tries the ball over the top. Oh, brilliant. Oh, it's just... I think it was just offside to Bruno Fernandes. Oh, it was close. It'd have been gorgeous. Just make sure he's all right, Bruno. He's just hobbling around a little bit. Don't want to hurt the dreaded metatarsal. Rich says, quicker than a transatlantic flight. That, honestly, that Wan-Bissaka one. That's not good enough reason for a KG fan view after the game. Just wait. There's no way he doesn't reference it. He has to. He has to. Brookfoot, you deal with it for life. Sometimes you think you've got over it and it'll come back. It can be vicious. He's had a flare-up. Martinez. Oh, good hit towards Sancho. Just couldn't keep it under control. They're in. They're in. Oh, it's offside. Ooh. Dortmund manager isn't happy. He thinks he was onside. That was close. Very, very close. United got absolutely sliced through like a knife through butter. It was very close. That would have gone... They'd have let that play on in the Premier League and they'd have waited. Speaking of offsides, is Rashi offside? Lino did have his flag up for that one too. Wobo says, nah, offside. The thing is, now, genuinely, I don't know. Because there have been a couple of times in Premier League games where I've gone his miles off. And then they draw the line, so he goes onside. Now, some people said about the Bellingham one, they said, well, actually, by the rule change, he was onside. The difference is, the rule change is not implemented in the Premier League this season. It's implemented in some European leagues, but not the Premier League. Now, the new rule is, basically, if there's a part of you onside, you're onside. The old rule is, if there's a part of you offside, you're offside. Which is the complete opposite. Which I think going to lead to a problem. For instance, when we play a team in the Champions League, let's say you've got a team from England playing a team from Italy in the Champions League. You've got two teams there that actively have different interpretations of the offside rule on a week-to-week period. That is just a recipe for disaster, isn't it, really? It's going to cause problems. Oh, Rashford tries to lay it off to Shaw, but Shaw's picked up a knock. Also, I have some breaking news that I've just heard live from Las Vegas. Josh has said, and I quote, "We're going to be putting up a mini vlog of Flex and KG at yesterday's fight, so feel free to announce that. It'll be going up after the game." So a bit of news that indeed there's going to be a vlog of Flex and KG at yesterday's boxing match in Las Vegas. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up after the game. Not the UFC, it was the boxing. That's boxing. Is Dortmund on the counter-attack. Ball in across goal. It's 3-2. God, United's defending in this game with periphery players or first-team starters has just been rubbish. Giving the ball away again. How many times do we want to get caught out in this game by literally mistakes? Dropping ourselves in the shit. Every single time. Individual errors. Thank God it's pre-season, but Wan-Bissaka, look at that. It's him with the short pass. And then they score. I mean, credit to Dortmund, because every single time we've made a mistake, we've been punished. I mean, apart from the time that Onana saved it. But this time it's Wan-Bissaka. He's had a stinker since he's come on, because he's skied one over for a field goal, and now he's given a goal away. Johnny Evans got turned inside out like a dirty sock, and they've just put it in. Man. Individual errors every single time. Shocking. Rashford, oof. I thought he were poor. I thought he were poor, lads. But United now, again, frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Mount. Oh, ball across goal. No. Oh. I can't deal with this at this time in the morning. Some would label it as a disgrace, a cheat, if you will. Come on, United. There is goals in this game. You've got to believe, as Don Robbie would say, believe. Believe. But there's what, about just under 20 minutes remaining. 3-2 to Borussia Dortmund. Come on, United, though. Got to believe. I've disappeared. You'll see why in a second. There you go. I'm back. Here comes Marcus Rashford. Rashford again. Someone wonder. I'll let you guys into a secret there. Some will be wondering, they'll say, Owen, why did it get a bit laggy there? Why did the overlay disappear? Well, that is because somehow, some way, for 75 minutes, yeah, we didn't realise United was spelt wrong. We were missing an I, and nobody noticed. Nobody noticed the I was missing. I can't believe it. Here's Luke Shaw. I can't believe no. I know. I include myself in that, by the way. No one noticed. 75 minutes. Longer. We've been live for over 2 hours. I don't know how that happened. Oh, wow. There's no iron team, Rich. You're right. It was only because Josh noticed. Exactly. Okay, it's only about football. That's why. Bruno Fernandes, ball over top, is offside. As Kimmy said, it's Man United. Man United. Does it? It don't matter. You know. 75 minutes gone. Still 3-2 to Dortmund. Hummels is coming off. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. All that fun stuff for Man United. It's currently Man United 2, Dortmund 3. As Dortmund makes some more subs. Dortmund apparently got another game in Chicago. Joe Hugel's coming on for Jadon Sancho, who's actually played really well. I tell you what though, Sancho, must be said, he's played, I think he was excellent. He's probably been United's best player in this game. Entirely. Come on though, United. I mean, it's going to be interesting now. Hugo's got to take his chance. See if he can get an opportunity. Here's Andre Onana again. But what is concerning, certainly, as I said, this is going to be the team that starts against Wolves, including Sancho. Maybe you could argue Rasmus Højlund as well. But then we conceded again. ADZ's right. It is such a weird game. It's a really, really strange one, isn't it? Really strange one by United so far. Because on the face of it, played well at points, but also mistakes. Mistakes and errors constantly, which again is quite odd. Let's get my chat back. Not the Fletnicals. For the final US preseason game. Some would describe it as a disgrace. A cheat, if you will. Here's Casemiro. Bruno Fernandes. Rashford on the left. Rashford keeps going. Tries to go past a player. Where's he going? Wins a corner. Corner to Manchester United. Hopefully we can put some pressure on. And you never know. Maybe a miraculous turnaround. Here's hoping. John says Jadon's best game for United in this. Woibo says, guys, seriously though, if this is our starting or close to it team, we're in trouble. I hope Højlund makes a massive difference. Here's Rashford. Again, it is only pre-season, it must be said. Here's Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka looking for Rashford. Ball across goal. It's a good ball. Oof. I mean, maybe the one thing they might point out is maybe that Wan-Bissaka, maybe you put Dalot in. But it's kind of staggering, really, is that Dortmund have scored 3 goals. They've all been individual errors, and frankly, they could have had a 4th as well. Absolutely wild, really, by United, isn't it? Here's Rashford again. Ball in by Bruno Fernandes. Oh, it's a header. Ooh, it's close. Keeper makes a save, though. I'm not sure who actually made the header as well. It might be Casemiro or Johnny Evans. What else are people saying in the chat at the moment? Rich says Rashford's doing too much. IB says we need to train for set pieces. Stella says Rashford selfish even in pre-season. Here comes Dortmund again on the counter. And United need to be careful. United their own worst enemy in this game, really. It's kind of flabbergasting that we've conceded 3. And Dortmund haven't actually... It's wild that we conceded 3 goals and Dortmund haven't actually been that much of a threat. Really, it's been 3 goals of just pure sloppiness and pure error, and it could have been more had it not been for Onana with that one-on-one save too. Staggering. And you can't, I mean, this is pre-season. You make those mistakes in the Premier League, you'll absolutely be punished. And that'll be Ten Hag, I think, biggest concern, is we're meant to be getting to a place where mistakes can happen, but these players, from a technical point of view, shouldn't be making these mistakes, certainly. Mason Mount with a foul, and Dortmund have the free kick. Less than 10 minutes remain in this one. There's a foul on Samuel Bamba. And into the final 10 at Allegiant Stadium. Man United 2, Dortmund 3. Remember, if you haven't already, click the like button. We're 105 likes away from 500. So if you haven't already, click that like button. Bruno Fernandes outside of the boots looking for Anthony. Anthony on the right-hand side. Is he going to try and take on the fullback? Or is he going to go back? Where is he going? Where are you going, Anthony? Gets caught in between. I don't know what he was trying to do. That's a foul, surely. It's got to be a foul. Indeed, it's been given as a foul. It can be so frustrating, Anthony. I mean, I know he scored a goal, and again, it kind of sums up Anthony this game so far, doesn't it? Good goal, but decision making sometimes it's just like it's like he doesn't know what he's gonna do. He's got his foot on the ball, and he's thinking you're gonna take him on, you're gonna cut back, you're gonna cut inside. Like, what are you gonna do? And he just sort of doesn't know a lot of the time what he's gonna do. And then sometimes, because he's not sure, he doesn't do anything, and will kind of just run into the player. And you sort of question again, what are you doing? Free kick. Luke Shaw and Bruno Fernandes are standing over it. Bruno fizzes it back.
What? Bloody hell.
It's a brilliant ball by Bruno Fernandes, and Marcus Rashford, I don't know what he does. I mean, it's not a tap-in, but it's just get it on target, you're probably going to score, side foot it, and it's gone under his foot. He stood on the ball. He wasn't marked. It's a sitter. You can't describe it any other way. It's a sitter. Absolute sitter. By Marcus Rashford. Casemiro finds Rashford again. Here goes Rashford. He's going to go past the player. Rashford, make it count this time. Rashford's good save. Follow up.
Bloody hell.
I can't believe he's missed. How? Rashford's just missed a sitter. He does everything right that time. Anthony's there. Open goal. He's missed. How's he missed? I can't believe it. How? It's a brilliant ball by Casemiro. Outside of the foot. Rashford does well. Rides the tackle. Goes past the player. Opens up. It's a good save by the goalkeeper. Anthony, first time, misses the goal. He missed the target. How? Again, it's kind of comfortable save from the goalkeeper, the first one. They've only showed it once. I can't.
He was special.
Still 3-2 down. We've just missed 2 sitters. Let's be honest. 2 sitters in Rashford and Anthony, both of them. Switched out to Anthony. Johnny Evans got to recover there. He does so. Man. And I get that. Perfectly sums up Anthony for me this game so far. Good goal. Decision making. You're going, what are you doing? Do you know what you're going to do? Open goal, miss. A bit of everything. A constant mixed bag. And the problem is, if you get a pick and mixed bag, a lot of it you don't like. You know, you get in there, you go, oh, licorice. Get rid of that. Rashford's not happy. He's throwing his arms up in the air. Doesn't matter. Ref's not give anything. Here's Casemiro. And this is when you start to talk about, if you're Erik ten Hag, you've been sloppy and you've missed chances. So if you're going to make individual errors and miss chances, you deserve to lose at this point. Build up play, be damned. Nice passes, be damned. Mount, Wan-Bissaka manages to ricochet a ball off a Dortmund player. Anthony. Lissandro Martinez. Oh, he fizzes it at Bruno. He's trying to flick at Bruno, to who I don't know. Even if he would have never got it to Joe Hugel anyway. But man, maybe a bit of an eye-opener this from Man United. Again, you can have nice build-up play, but errors will cost you. Because they'll come off the pitch being like, how on earth have we lost? And it'll be like, I tell you, you didn't take your chances, and defensively, at points, you were shit. Andre Onana rolls it out to Lisandro Martinez. Main man. But this is, again, and this is one of those instances where I don't even think like you go, oh, here he goes, through a goal. Joe Hugo is in. Hugo, oh, it's a good save by the goalkeeper. That is one where I'd say you need a striker. It's a young kid, but keeper comes flying out. That's an opportunity is there as well. We could have had 3 goals in the last 3 minutes. That is good build-up play by United, and that is maybe where you'd say, look, if you got Erasmus Højlund on the pitch, maybe you scored that. He's a young kid. Bruno Fernandes, ball in the box, goes past the player. Oh. But, man, that's a chance. I mean, 3 gilt-edged chances. Look at this. Bruno Fernandes, brilliant ball. Joe Hugo kind of panics. Keeper does well, comes out, spreads himself, but you need ice in your veins there. You need composure. I mean, again, maybe if you got a more distinguished striker in a Højlund or someone like that, maybe they take that. Keeper does do well. But now, again, you're looking at 3 gilt-edged opportunities. Rashford, Antony, Hugo. If you miss chances like that and you make mistakes like you have, you deserve to lose. That's the problem. That is the issue. 4 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Man United still 3-2 down. Here's Johnny Evans on the ball. Through ball, Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, out to Rashford. Oh, is it Casemiro? I was going to say, Rashford's moving a bit gingerly. It's Casemiro. I was going to say, I went Rashford, but mate, Rashford's looks slow. Casemiro, look at him try and run after this. Or just seeing a replay of the Joe Hugo chance. Maybe you would just say, just try and lift it a little bit. He's trying to sort of slip it under the keeper's legs a little bit. Look at this. He's just trying to go through the keeper's legs. Maybe it's one of those sort of lifted ones. Man. 3-2 down. Casemiro again. Bruno Fernandes. Dispossessed. Good tackle by the Dortmund player. Oh, he's done really well. Really, really well. Here comes Marco Reus. Travels with the ball. Dortmund are in the box. Dortmund again. It's just gone past Wan-Bissaka like he's not there. Whoa. Nearly ricocheted into the net. I tell you what, Wan-Bissaka's come on in this second half. And he's had a stinker. I think you have to... Yeah, oh, that's all you can say. Wan-Bissaka's come on, he's had a stinker. Second half. Misplaced passes. Missed opportunities. Skied it over the bar. He just got done there. Easy. Not the best half for AWB. Outright back, it must be said. Maybe it's just after that one we skied it over the bar. His confidence has been rocked, but he's not done a lot that's been particularly positive, you will say, in this second half for him. Particularly after a first half where Diogo Dalot did pretty well. But, yeah, Wan-Bissaka has not been it in this second half at all. Not at all. And maybe Erik ten Hag's got some decisions to make. And I think he's there, hand on his face, hand on his beard, Ten Hag, because maybe he's thinking, I thought this second half team would come on and blow him away. And we've been, we've made chances, certainly, but we've looked frail. We've looked really, really fragile. And we've looked sloppy again. Both sides. Both the first team, both the half in the first, the players that played in the first half and the beginning of the second half, and the players that came on, have looked a bit sloppy at points. That's been an issue in the game. And the right-hand side at the moment, must be said, looks quite ineffective. Wan-Bissaka and Antony. I know Antony got the goal, but he's being frustrating Antony again, which is... Antony's almost like 1 out of 4, isn't it? And when I say 1 out of 4, I don't mean he'll score 1 out of 4. I mean he'll make the right decision 1 out of 4. But apart from that, it'll be, it'll be cut back, cut inside, run into the player, give the ball away, goal. And you go, oh. Throw in to United. Luke Shaw. Lisandro Martinez on the ball at the moment. Less than 60 seconds remain of regulation time, and United find themselves 3-2 down. Lisandro Martinez. To Bruno Fernandes. Bruno out to Luke Shaw. Shaw outside of the boot to Martinez once again. Bruno. Johnny Evans. And again, it's really staggering, isn't it, of how many individual errors there have been in this game. And it's how fragile we've looked defensively. I think that would be a real cause for concern of Ten Hag heading into the season. Thankfully, we've got a couple of games to put it right. We've got the game at Old Trafford and the game in Dublin, and he'll be looking for a reaction. But no doubt, I think it'll probably be this one, actually. I said I was a bit disappointed with the Real Madrid performance and result, but I think there were bright spots in that, and there have been in this one. But this will be the most alarming one, I think, just because of how sloppy some of the errors have been, and sort of again some of the missed chances. I think this will be the more one where you go, actually, at points this was good build-up play, and again good chance creation at points, but there are some glaring red flags. You know, that will be the concern, I think, certainly. As we're into stoppage time, certainly. Marco Reus stands over the free kick. Reus goes short. And I think Dortmund is going to be happy to have the ball and see this one out. They'll probably think, wow. You know, because I don't even think, you can't say, I don't think in this one, you can't say like, oh yeah, Dortmund, they were such good value for their win. They played really, really well. I don't think you would say that. But on the opposite side of it, I'd say they deserve their win. And the reason they deserve their win is because they were way more clinical than us. We gave them opportunities, they took them. Yeah, you can talk about nice passes and build-up play, which we did have. But if you make mistakes and you don't take chances, you don't deserve to win football matches. Facts, period. And that's really it today. That's the difference. I haven't been blown away by Dortmund's play or anything like that, really. You know, it's not you go, oh, they play amazing stuff. No. They take chances if you give them. They basically say, look, we're going to do our thing, and if you give us a chance, we'll score. That's what they did. And if you mess around, we'll punish you for it. That's it. And United, again, have been sloppy. Martinez, good pass that. Oh, it's a poor touch by Bruno Fernandes. He gives away a foul. Again, like stuff like that, that's just poor. That's just sloppy. It's a really good pass by Lisandro Martinez. It's poor touch by Bruno, gives away a foul. Bruno's talking to Joe Hugel. Oh, I don't think that wasn't Joe Hugel's fault. That was Bruno, your touch was poor. And Ten Hag doesn't look happy. And he's right to. He's right not to be happy. And it'll be interesting to see what his reaction is to this in terms of what he makes the players do. Casemiro just smashes it forward. I'm not sure who to. Commentators just said what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, I hope so. Some of these mistakes. Rashford's just a poor pass. Oh, Mason Mount didn't read it. I don't know. But again, that sums United up so far. Here come Dortmund again. Cuts it back. Ball on the edge of the box. Another opportunity for Borussia Dortmund. Ball in. Oh, it was a decent ball as well. Casemiro heads it back to Andre Onana. And that will probably be the final thing, I would think. Good kick by Andre Onana. It was a brilliant kick to Marcus Rashford. What was Rashford doing there? Oh, he's gone down with a head injury. Or is he hurt? I don't know. Is that it? Full time. And Manchester United have lost the final game of the pre-season tour of the United States of America. As I mentioned, there are 2 more games remaining. But Manchester United lose again. You know, after losses against Wrexham, and it wasn't really the Manchester United first team. This certainly was. It was another first team performance, and Manchester United lose in a really disappointing game. I mean, certainly you could argue an entertaining game in terms of goals. I mean, we witnessed 5 goals scored here today at Allegiant Stadium, but a game which actually in the first half we looked in control of. We were 1-0 up for a large portion of it. And then suddenly the confidence disappeared and we just made mistakes over and over and over again. And despite, the players, same group of players came out at the beginning of the second half, and then the, first teamers, if you will, came on and really made no difference. If anything, the play got even sloppier in terms of mistakes. Yes, we created chances. Yes, there was some positives. Jadon Sancho played well. Yes, there was positives in terms of, for a minute of period there at the end of the game, Rashford misses a sitter, Anthony misses an open goal, Hugo misses a one-on-one. But ultimately, I think this is a real eye-opener for Erik ten Hag, and it should be for the players too, heading into the Premier League season, which is you can have good build-up play, you can play nice football, you can play tidy football, and you can be in control of the game from a possessional point of view. If you make mistakes, you will be punished. And also, if you make mistakes and also then don't take your chances and you're not efficient in front of goal, you will lose football matches. That is why we lost today. We lost today, and it might be, oh, well done on you. Yeah, you've just simplified football. But it's true. It's obvious. If you don't take your chances when you create them and then you make so many mistakes, you're going to be punished and you're not going to be in the game. That's it. And that was for both sets of players. You can't even blame it on, first half it was with the group of players that aren't going to be playing against Wolves in the first game. In the second half, that group of players came on that are going to be playing against Wolves at home, and they didn't make that much difference. In terms of the sloppiness and individual errors, it was there as well. And, you're not going to get too carried away. Again, it's pre-season, and I'd much rather this happens in pre-season. I'd much rather they make these mistakes in pre-season than against Wolves at Old Trafford or against Tottenham away and Arsenal away in those first 4 or 5 Premier League games. But it should serve as an eye-opener. It should serve as an eye-opener not only for Ten Hag, because he would know, but more so for these players. You've got to be ruthless. And that's at both ends of the pitch. Be ruthless in terms of taking chances, but also be ruthless from a defensive point of view of don't lose concentration for a second. Stop under-hitting passes. Focus your passes every single time and stop being sloppy. Because if you make a mistake like that in the Premier League, you will be punished. Dortmund are a good team. They're an efficient team. They'll punish you. They came second in the Bundesliga last year. They should have won it. But I didn't come out of that game going, I tell you what, Dortmund, they're unbelievable. Oh, the quality of the Bundesliga is fantastic. I didn't think that coming out the game. I came out of it going, Adeyemi's pretty good. But apart from that, I wasn't blown away. I think the biggest staggering thing would just be, again, sloppiness, individual errors. And it was the same thing against Real Madrid, really, wasn't it? Yeah, people go, yeah, but our build-up play was good. And that's why I didn't understand the reaction to some people after the game when they said, Owen, but it was an offside goal and an overhead kick. What can you do about that? You can react. You can take your chances. That's what you should do at United. In any football match anyway, really. Even losing the game 3-2, we could have scored 3 right at the end there, and we didn't take our chances. And the 3 goals could have been at least, 4, had Andre Onana not made that save too. So there's things there really for Erik ten Hag to look at. I'm sure he'll be happy with certain aspects of the game. Again, build-up play and chance creation. But he'll be, I think, quite concerned about lapse of concentration and how easy it was for Dortmund to score goals because we made it we absolutely made it for him. And I think certain individuals that people will still be looking at in that game. I think you look at, that team that you can see on the screen right there in the second half. I think people will look at Anthony and say, yes, he scored the goal. But at the same time, I said he's a 5-in-1 player. And what I mean by that is for every one, he scored the goal, there'll be 5 instances where it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to take him on? No. Or I'm going to try and take him on. I'm going to run into yellow shirts. I'm going to cut back. I'm going to try and cut inside. And then eventually he'll score and he goes, great, but you need more consistency. I think you look at Bruno Fernandes when he came on in the second half and was sort of sloppy Bruno, really, which is frustrating Bruno. Rashford missed a chance. Hopefully he's all right. It looked like he picked up a knock there at the end. But also, again, Rashford missing opportunities. Casemiro's taken a while to get up to speed. Mason Mount was quite a bit of a passenger. We didn't really see him in the second half at all. Wan-Bissaka, probably the poorest game I've seen him have in a while, also too. Andre Onana, I think, did well when he came on in terms of his distribution. In terms of a player for the match, I'll save it for the fan view, a more in-depth thing. I'd say United's player of the match was Jadon Sancho, easily. I think Jadon Sancho in the first half was actually really excellent. His positional play as the false 9 was good. Dropped deep, dropped out wide. His hold-up play, his link-up play was excellent. He'd be, I think, easily the man of the match for United. Apart from that, I think, again, you'd look at other players and just say sloppiness and lethargicness. And maybe, again, that's because of pre-season. Maybe it's about just getting minutes in the legs and things like that. But it's a very frustrating one, I think, that for Man United, and I think it will be an eye-opener, certainly for Erik ten Hag too. If you haven't already clicked the like button, we're only 60 likes away from 500, so again, if you haven't already clicked that like button, be sure to subscribe to bottom right-hand corner too. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let me just double-check if I'm caught up when it comes to Super Chats. Indeed, I am as well. Erica says Facundo was amazing. Chris says Rashford is one-dimensional. Hungry Alpaca says Mount was good. Well, of course, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I didn't actually see Mason Mount barely touch the ball. I think it was a couple of times, that was about it. Again, I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh, Mount's a flop or whatever, but I don't think he did a lot. Again, those players that came on after 60 minutes, a lot of them really didn't do anything all that much. We created chances, as I mentioned, but I think, as I said, I think you're looking at those players again that people were looking at anyway. And yes, you could say, yeah, Anthony scored, so that was good. But I don't think it told the whole story. Rashford came on, output. Yes, he had a really good goal-scoring season last season, but he was the frustrating Rashford again today. And the difference is, in terms of the game, was a side that was clinical when given opportunities and a side that wasn't. And that's what United were. And we were too sloppy. And particularly too, if you're going to give away that many, individual errors that are going to be leading to goals, you need your attack to be absolutely lethal. And our attack wasn't lethal, despite scoring 2 goals. We were far from lethal today. That's really the difference, certainly. So there you go. As I mentioned, guys, there's going to be full reaction coming. There's going to be fan views from myself, coming from Allegiant Stadium as well, from Flex and KG. There is going to be a vlog dropping too, as I mentioned, of Flex and KG at the fight yesterday in Las Vegas. Hopefully we'll get some reaction from some of the players too, possibly a chat with some of the staff, etc. So stay tuned for that. I appreciate everyone that has joined me in the Asylum for these preseason games at these crazy times, obviously across 2 time zones, East Coast, West Coast, Central Time as well. So thank you very much again. It really, it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. Of course, there's 2 more preseason games coming. One at Old Trafford, one in Dublin. I will be here in the Asylum once again for that, but at a more normal time, certainly as well. But a bit of a lackluster way to end the US tour, and here's hoping the performances can improve from here, certainly as well. As I mentioned, guys, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Stay tuned, because more content is on the horizon. Get some sleep. I am too. I'm out of here. Peace.